It's the first of 5 between the Nailers and the Thunder, the first time these teams are playing as North Division foes. It should be an excellent matchup here. Two teams that are still trying to find their footing and work their way into a playoff picture. Adirondack is currently in the middle of an 8-game road trip, while Wheeling is in the middle of a 6-game homestand. Both teams look to kick off this weekend on the right foot. But before we get things underway, DJ Vasila sits down with Wheeling Nailers head coach Derek Army. Tonight's Comforting Coaches Conversation on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank.
It's time for tonight's Comforting Coaches Conversation on the WV811 Nailers pregame show. Joined tonight by Nailers head coach Derek Army. And Derek, excited for another home weekend here at Westbanco Arena. How nice has it been the last couple of weeks to play back-to-back weekends at home in front of the home fans and not have to worry about any travel anywhere?
Yeah, it's really nice. That stretch, the 7 road games in a row was, it's taxing. And it's just nice to, I think last year's schedule, you kind of always, you have a weekend where you're at least at home. To go almost 3 weeks away from home is never easy. And so to be home is really nice, and sleep in your own bed. And especially with us right now getting so many new faces, it's a lot easier to deal with travel arrangements and that kind of thing, and getting guys set and kind of comfortable instead of, bringing a new player in and basically send him right on the road.
We look back at Sunday's game against the Reading Royals. Granted, slow start, but man, I don't know if I've seen a team put that much effort emptying the tank in the second and third periods. What were your takeaways from Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we don't want to lose the hockey game. But in terms of taking some positives away, in our expected goals against throughout the season, that was the lowest expected goals of what we should have given up, of a 1.08 was the lowest expected goal. So defensively, we did a lot of really good things, and then we were able to get our chances the other way. And, again, it just wouldn't go in. Somehow they call goalie interference. I don't think it was. Right now, unfortunately, that's a margin for error for us. And, but I think I was happy with the guys' effort. I was happy with the way we played it. It played into the structure that we wanted, and I thought we really limited a lot of opportunity.
You mentioned the reversal of the goal call. Did that light a fire? Because it really seemed like the guys took that personally and responded very well after that.
For sure. It was one that I think all of us were shocked it got called back, just by the definition of it and how, I think it was, we saw it on the board. It's like, there's no way this is goal interference. Then all of a sudden, I think it was a good little wake-up call, like, okay, like we're not going to let the refs decide this one. And unfortunately, for us, you couldn't climb quite out of it, but it definitely was a great response from the guys.
You mentioned that you're bringing in some new faces right now as the doors are finally starting to open to the Canadian University NCAA. Are there certain types of players that you're trying to fill voids, or just certain styles that you think will benefit this hockey team?
Yeah, I think, in a perfect world, you bring in replicas of Atlee Calvert and DSP and Klassen and Hood and the guys that, aren't with us. But, that's not the case. You're not going to find those guys in U Sports and NCAA coming out. So, for us, we were looking for, in this stretch, and Mitch and I have been looking for guys who can kind of fit into right now, our play style has to change. And it's changed since, losing all these players, but is a more hard-nosed grit, simple game. And so I think some of the players we brought in are clearly bigger and more physical and get to the net. And so they provide something that is a completely different look than we were early in the year, but is a look I think that we need to have right now. And then moving forward, as you do end up getting players back, which hopefully we get, our guy, these players back down, and it now fills a role that I think we maybe didn't quite have in the middle of the season, in some of our depth players. So I think that does fill that role. So I think I think it all kind of pieces together, and so they fit kind of what we're looking for right now that can make a difference, but also make a difference moving forward.
It's kind of wild to say that we're seeing a divisional opponent for the first time this season, and the calendar turns to March tomorrow, but you're going to see the Adirondack Thunder for the first time. They've seen a ton of Trois-Rivières lately. What have you seen on the video that sticks out that has allowed them? Granted, they've struggled in the win-loss record, but they've stayed competitive against the division leaders. Yeah,
I think they play hard. They can score. They keep games close because they can chip pucks in, and they get on the ozone play, where I think is the strength of theirs. They put a lot of pucks on net. So if you're putting pucks on net, you always have a chance to win. And in watching the games, I think there's probably a few that probably should have gone their way and didn't against TR. But that happens. That's hockey. I do think they're a good team. They got some big D. They play hard. They're obviously a team that I think won the division last season. So they've got some experience still on that roster. They're well coached, and so I would expect a really good hockey team tonight.
All right, what do you have for today's Victory Toyota keys to the game?
Keys to the game for us. DJ, I would say for us it's just simple, and I think it's just kind of for us is play to right now when it's not necessarily going in is we just got to get to the net, and you got to force your luck to go your way. And I think that's the key is by doing things right, by going to the net, by putting pucks on net, you force, pucks to, find a way to go in for you because you're there. When you're playing perimeter, that's when you're not going to get those chances. So for us, that'll be our key is forcing our luck to go our way. And then other than that, I would say keys, pitchers and catchers is starting up. Spring training is going in full force. I think you're probably pretty excited about the Red Sox. For me, it's just an exciting time in sports when you got the NHL playoffs looming, you got baseball starting, spring's rolling around, playoff time is coming, and so I think it's an exciting time in sports.
Very much it is. Derek, I appreciate it if you made your time. Best of luck out there tonight.
Thank you, DJ. As always, go Nailers. Hi, Jenny, Addie, Booney, Puck, and Timbit. Excited to have you guys here. Let's go.
Nailers head coach Derek Army on our Comfort Inn Coaches Conversation, opening faceoff between Wheeling and Adirondack next on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank. 5 head-to-head matchups in 2 weeks. Might as well get these unpleasantries started. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Herb Electric broadcast booth high above the ice at West Banco Arena. I'm DJ Vasella alongside Isaac Basinger, set to bring you all the action as the Nailers take on the Thunder. The puck is down. The game is not on. The Nailers in the black uniforms with the sunflower yellow numbers and letters, the backs and sleeves. They go from left to right. Now the puck is down and the game is on. And we're going to have a fight off the opening face-off. Helmets off, the whole thing. Matthew Corsia and Darian Skio, they come close together and start wheeling in center ice. Skio through first, now Corsia shakes off the elbow pad, tumbles around. They fall down to the ice. And that's how we start the hockey game, 5 seconds in, as the Nailers and the Thunder setting the tone for what's going to be a fun 2 weeks.
Yeah, able to see Skio and Corsia. We had that beautiful camera shot right from above the penalty boxes down. We saw Corsia look over at Skio and go, "You want to fight?" I read his lips, and Skio gave him the head shake, and so there we are. There's the fight off the opening draw.
So now they're going to talk about it. They're going to get 5 for fighting. They're going to get 2 for taking the helmet off. But did it enough hockey plays develop to have them avoid the game misconduct for basically a staged fight here?
It's going to be interesting because Corsia goes backwards off the draw, almost. So we're going to wait and see if the penalty box doors stay closed.
That's what Austin O'Rourke is right now, delivering any potential message to Corsia and Skio. And looks like they're both going to stay in the hockey game. Thunder, by the way, in the white uniforms, the red numbers on the backs and sleeves, black nameplates. They go from right to left. You flip-flop those directions if you're watching along on WTRF My Ohio Valley and FloHockey. 5 seconds, the time of the penalties on Corsia and Skio. It's a defensive zone draw for the Nailers, and they skate ahead with it. Jankowski on the left side for Koopman. A shot from the circle disrupted. Trying to spin it towards goal was Timken, and that one rifled away. Rail, gloves down at the right point, spilled, but he threw it with the glove, and it's a hand pass, so we get a stoppage.
Those who are watching this is the free game of the day for FloHockey. Were you expecting a fight 5 seconds in?
I wasn't. You did.
He said, I saw it right before we went, and I tried to give you the fist moving back and forth to be like, hey, we might get something here.
Usually I'm pretty dialed in for those, but I mentioned Austin O'Rourke, the referee. Chad Fuller and Garrett Gaydosh are working the lines. We will have 2 referees both Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Wheeler off the end boards. He's a defenseman, but on the line chart, he's a second-line left wing today for the Thunder. Off the back glass, it's covered by Murashov.
Now, as we very well know, that we've seen guys play in different positions for the Nailers the whole season, whether that be David Jankowski moving back to the blue line or defenseman moving in and playing on that fourth-line role. Basically, I think you could just look at it, you have the 18 skaters is basically what you have, and no matter where they play is where they go.
Matthew Corsia entered today's game in 5th in penalty minutes with 140. He just said, "Excuse me," to Ty Cheveldayoff of Jacksonville and Mikhail Robidoux now of Bloomington, and now he occupies the 3rd spot with 147. He is now out of freebies as well, so if Corsia fights between now and the middle of April, he will sit the game after he fights, unless he is instigated to do so by an opponent, as we've learned. Battle in front of the benches, jammed in by James White, making his Nailers debut out of Ontario Tech, where he had 76 points in 97 career games. Thunder give it away. Jackson rolling in, tries to drop off for Pietila in the left circle. Goes awry. Mueller touches in left side corner. Sutter colliding with Smith up against the back boards. Puck comes zipping over near side. Martel tries to golf it out of there. Francis hustles back and feeds it over. Hard pass to control. Gibson has to play up against his end boards. Backhand pass through the middle. Coming ahead is Mueller as he got blasted to the ice by Fipwa. Sutter throwing the body as well against Vandalist on the far side. Waugh chipping along near side corner for Jackson. Rolling his way ahead out to center. He is Wheeling's leading scorer. A shot left side by Pietila. That's sticked away by the goaltender Muse. Another shot that was going wide by Martel, but Muse got a stick on that one as well. Jackson, the only one of Wheeling's top 5 point getters on the year to be in the lineup tonight, as they have been hit by the recall bug. Good to see, though, Atlee Calvert and Matty D. St. Val both in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton lineup. Gabe Clausen not tonight, but hey, maybe tomorrow he can make his AHL debut.
He did take the skate in the warm-up as well.
Okay, good to catch on that. Rail far side ahead for Peter Laviolette. Returns to the lineup following a 5-game suspension. This is pro game number 100 for the Wheeling, West Virginia native. Nailers battle it in. Near side corner. Timken, helped out by Laviolette, comes curving up the right wing wall. Sheds a defender. Turns and fires, and he launched it up over top of the net. Cameron, far side, stepping in, chisels one to the near side corner. That's grabbed and played off the wall and out to center ice. Cameron resets for Timken, spins and dumps in a backhander. Ticking towards 3 minutes gone by in our first period. No score between Wheeling and Adirondack. First head-to-head meeting between these two since 2019 as the puck goes into the benches. First time the Thunder have been here since 2018.
This is the first time I've ever seen Adirondack play.
Check them off your list.
Yes, continuing to move down the list when it comes to those teams I've seen in person.
You'll get to check another one off on Sunday when you get to see your first in-person Maine Mariners experience.
It's a fun experience here, being able to knock them off the list.
So this is opponent number 16 on the season for the Nailers, as they will play 17 when all is said and done this year. Or is this 17?
I think this is 17.
This is 17, yeah. Tulsa was 16. I lost one between the time that we left South Carolina. Thunder come with numbers. O'Neal, their leading scorer, left circle, feeds it over, and a great stick save on the one-timer. Murashov denies Gervais. So this is it. We will now see everybody on our schedule this year. A nice variety for 17 different opponents. Beaten all but 2. South Carolina and Greenville left us in a puzzle. Thunder wind it over. Vandalist coming in on the left side, defended by Watt. 2 large fellows out there. There's plenty of size out on the ice tonight. We are not lacking in that department, including the new fellow, Mr. White, who's out there right now and who finds the puck in the left circle of his own end. Drops off for Watt. Koopman on the right side, bumps it ahead for White, trying to battle his way down the near side boards, crashing in hard against Gibson. Puck retrieved by Lovin up the far side. Rushing hit. Aiden Sutter just laid the boom against Nolan along the far side wall. Isaac's going to talk about that very thing with Aiden during tomorrow's profile. White looking down the wall. Far boards. Gibson crashed into Eli Leafers, who plays in pro game number 4. Rail in pursuit, defensive end, hooks it along far side. Lindgren pokes forward. Martel trying to separate from Francis, comes driving in down the upcoming series that you're going to be looking at in the North Division that has the teams above and below us going head-to-head this weekend for 3 north of the border. Lindgren, center circle, punches in far side corner. How about Rapid City, by the way, with the return of Scott Burt, now on a 10-game winning streak.
11-game point streak as well, and unfortunately for them, they're still very far out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Martel down to Jackson, back up right point. Martel goes middle, rail straight away. That would be a way to celebrate the C. Sends a tumbler in on goal, bodied away by Muse. That is not former Nailer John Muse. Add an extra letter on the last name, add an I, and it's Colby Muse, M-U-I-S-E. He is in his first year as a North American pro, started in the SPHL, played in France last year, and now finds himself with Adirondack. And gosh, I love the throwback gear. Koopman in with a shot and a right pad save. Using that retro-looking gear is Muse. Against 20-year-old Sergei Murashov, who has 16 wins as a member of the Nailers, plus 6 with Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Give him 22 in his first year of North American pro action. Cameron Near side looking ahead for Laviolette or Koopman. Thunder carry in. Smirnov, a shot, and his fellow countryman traps it on his chest.
Smirnov was able to grab and fire that hard shot in on Murashov.
6:06 gone in the first period, scoreless on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank. .06 gone by first period, no score. Isaac, as I scan the crowd tonight, I can't help but notice there are more officials in the stands than there are on the ice.
You know, there's 3 teams that play out on the ice, and they're all being supported here this evening.
Yeah, there's a group of fans that is on the Zamboni end of Westbanco Arena who decided to spend their Frosty Friday dressed up as referees. That's fantastic. Frosty Friday makes you do some wild things. Gibson, left point wrist shot. That one goes awry. Vandaliste on the far side, harassed by Cullen. I mentioned to you earlier, the body type, the stature of Vandaliste. Boy, is it giving me some Jack Van Boekel vibes.
And there's a Van in his name, too.
He's got the facial hair, too, that Van Boekel had. Former Nailer. O'Neill, far side. I believe Jack is retired. O'Neill winds things up, center circle. Trudging his way through, right circle, gets the wrist shot off, swallowed up by Murashov. O'Neill crashes in, takes his defender with him. I think that was Sutter. As the stoppage made, 6:50 gone in the scoreless first.
Yeah, that could have been a dangerous play. As O'Neill was flying towards the net there, no one was really stopping. And I think when Sutter made contact, his skates went in the air, and O'Neill almost had to fall over top of him to avoid being hit with him.
In addition to the teams not having played each other very much, the players on the ice, same thing. 3 Nailers, 3 Thunder in the lineup tonight have ever played against the opposition before. For Adirondack, Gervais, Skio, and Wheeler have faced the Nailers in their career. For Wheeling, Collins, Sutter, and Drake have faced Adirondack before. Sutter and Collin have played 2 each. Drake has played 19. All with the Reading Royals, where he was before becoming a Wheeling Nailer. Waugh protecting, banks off the end boards, comes around near wall for Timken. Reverses Waugh to the far side as a heavy forechecking pressure put on him by Loven. Loven spinning out right side corner. They look up the wall. White trying to use the strength to force out the center ice. He does. It leaks briefly back in. Then Wheeler goes to throw the body. Leafers is there as well. 3 forwards out there for the Nailers who all have less than a handful of pro games under their belt. Wheeler coming deep on the left side, sprawled at by Waugh, tries to send it middle, kicks all the way to the left point. Conroy looking middle for less. Timken just threw Conroy aside. Leafers put some pressure on Francis, nudged up the far side wall, and the Nailers get it out to neutral ice. Resetting there is Les, springing in Francis on the right side, dropping back. Ooh, Pietila couldn't quite swipe it away from Conroy. He was thinking about maybe breaking away. Leafers, the self-pass up the wall, clogged up. Pietila goes in, bumped along. Mueller's in the neighborhood for Adirondack. Goes leaking behind the net. Smith tries to jam out in front. Nailers force it away. Pietila sends Martel up the right side, gets in at the circle, wrist shot, and closing that off and holding on is Muse.
That's another time we've now seen Louis Rail coming and stepping up from the blue line to go on a possible rush. This one not as much of a 2-on-1 odd man situation. I think Martel had the opportunity. I thought the Thunder did a good job of covering up where Rail was going. Martel's really only choice was to shoot it.
Corsia and Skio dismissed from their 2 and 5s with 8:19 gone in our first period. No score here in the wheel. We've got a battle royale for you tomorrow night. If you don't know what that is, think Fortnite. Going to have all sorts of different themes throughout the evening, some emote cams.
So how much studying did you do to learn much about it?
Not a lot. Rail at the right point, tries to go middle. Pass was not sharp to Martel. Thunder trying to come back with numbers, but Rail does a great job staying right in the middle and preventing any passes from going back and forth. Behind the net, they play out to the right circle, wrist shot, and Murashov handles that attempt, which came from Basson.
Basson fired that shot, but not really any traffic in front. I thought the Wheeling did a good job of clearing that out. Sergey was able to see it the whole way and able to wear that one in the chest and get the whistle. Got
our youth hockey jamboree here during the afternoon tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun. So we should have a lot of youth hockey players in the building tomorrow. 8:37 gone by, first period, no score, Nailers and Thunder. It's championship weekend for the PAHL. Special shout out, go North Pittsburgh. The big rivalry against South Pittsburgh. And the 19U girls. Tell you what, the Wildcats want to beat the Rebellion like you would not believe. And I hope they do. Doing it with the championship on the line would be oh so bittersweet. Thunder wind things up. Philman for Vandalist on the right side. Tipped through by Friedman. Blockered and paddled down by Murashov. Koopman tries to force his way up the right side. Conroy feeds over for Skio. Up the wall. Poked away by Drake. Koopman just got plowed into by Skio. Gervais coming in, left side with speed. A shot. A pad save made by Murashov. Remember, Gervais last year from Tulsa made that unreal shootout move in the game here at West Banco Arena. Corsia with a long right side shot. A pad save made by Muse. Tie up. Far side boards, ragged free by the Thunder. Gervais tries to get a step in on the right side, drags it back. O'Neal sprays one towards the pile, sticked away by Murashov. Conroy cycles deep. O'Neal turning left side corner, now to the left circle, going up top, backhands it down the wall, near corner. Cameron takes a smack at this and sends it traveling all the way down. This be an icing call on the Nailers. 9:58 left to go in our first period, scoreless game.
First one of those of the variety so far, and this one is, you said it only took 10 minutes and 2 seconds into the game to get one of those.
Saturday will also feature, by the way, a video game arcade in the main lobby. What are you going after first this year?
Oh, it's going to be a tough question. I'm going to have to survey the field, and then I'm going to have to make a very good guess of what I want to do. So I'm going to try to touch a couple of things whenever it comes to that.
Okay. Cameron off the near side glass. Sounds like you're planning a trip to Disney World. Corsia dumping in near side corner. Koopman rolls it around. Corsia out of the trapezoid. Koopman feeds to the right point. Wah, wrist shot into traffic, but it hits the traffic, unfortunately. Nolan ahead for Wheeler. Coming in, sliding left, puts it on goal. Save made Murashov. Nolan crashing in hard, and Sutter makes sure no shenanigans. 9:36 left in the first. No score. We're still feeling each other out on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank. Thank you, Captain. And they said broadcasting was easy. Right. 9:36 left to go in the first period. No score. Want to welcome all of our viewing and listening audience today on Mix 97.3 on WTRF, My Ohio Valley, and Free Flow. And I'm pretty sure they have the home and away buttons activated if that drove you nuts and you want to switch over to Rob Lapolis' broadcast. But we hope you keep it here with us because we'll make you laugh. Pietala from the right point misses wide. That one goes over to Waugh, who pummels one. Getting a piece on that was Muse. May have been going wide. Far side, Pietala looking back to the blue line. And Waugh has to go back and chase on his own side of the blue. I did forget to tell Rob about the goal horn, so that must have scared the ever-living you-know-what out of him. But, well, it happens.
I'm sure he'll forget to tell you something next week on purpose.
Yep. Smith left side, even the playing field. Gibson whips over, looking for a pass with Smith, but Jackson absolutely massacred that puck into the stands.
Yeah, all it took was Jackson to get the stick over there to break up the pass, and most of the time is when you see that one fly across like that. It's just a little bit change in the trajectory of where that puck is going can cause it to go over the glass.
No score. Shots 7-5 for Adirondack. 8:53 left to go in first. These two teams will go at it again tomorrow at 7:10 right here at Wheeling. Next weekend, it's all up there in Glens Falls, New York. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that'll be it for the season series. Timken, middle, Jankowski driving in shot. Flipped up over top of the net. Gibson rims it around, far boards. Trying to whip it waist high was Lindgren. Ends up booting it deep into the near corner. Bull crashes hard against Van de Leest. Comes up to the right point. Rail riser. That goes up over top of the goal. Far side, dished out. Gibson, will it go on net? Yes, it will. Mudashov touches it aside, and Rail takes behind his net. Lindgren ahead on the left side. Bull knocked down by Skio. Nailers can't get it through. A right side shot. Mudashov gets the body on the Alex Young attempt. Conroy backpedaling left side of his own end. Feeds over for Skio, the captain of the Thunder, who plays with the physical edge. Gervais worked his way into the zone. Thwarted out by Cameron. Far side, it's O'Neill dipping in deep. Cameron looks over his shoulder and pounds around to the near side boards. Colin for Leafers, dangles around one. Eli coming in, left side, puts it on goal low. Pad save made by Muse. Good job by White going to the net. Leafers scored his first pro goal on Saturday. The game winner in a 2-0 victory over Tulsa. Thunder are offside, 7:35 left in a scoreless first.
It's always fun to see guys get their first one, especially for Leafers. That's not one, a bigger guy like that getting the tip, and I think everyone imagines their first pro goal is coming down and sniping the goalie and everyone going crazy. It's just a simple tip-in in front of the net.
And that was his second of the year overall, as he had one goal in 27 games at Nipissing. Thunder put a mark on the back glass with that dump-in. As the puck gets dribbled near side at the left point, Bisson wrists her into the traffic. Getting a piece of that with the blocker was Mudashov. White guides ahead. Drake tries to force through. Leafers got it out. Colin, 1-on-2, waiting for some teammates to join him. The whole Thunder squad basically back there defensively. Nailers are in the midst of a line change, but now Adirondack dumps deep and Wheeling has all sorts of bodies back. Sutter got it through. Jankowski banks ahead. Left side. Corsia turns his man silly. Gives over looking for Koopman on the near post. Couldn't quite get it to him. Pass was just a hair in front. Corsia trying to go behind the net. Up the left point. Sutter had an angle off his tape. He retrieves in center. Smooths it over right side for Waugh. Center circle. Jankowski dropping off. Sutter rips it in on goal. Muse gloves it away. 6:36 left. No score in the first.
I really like the job there by Corsi. He was able to spin off the defender who was trying to check him in the neutral zone. That led to a pretty good scoring chance there. The pass maybe just a little bit too hot to go on the other side to find Koopman, who was open on the right side.
Offensive zone draw coming up for the Nailers. Trying to capitalize on what has been Adirondack's worst period of the year, and boy, has it been. Holy moly, those numbers.
Yes, we talk about it. Sometimes it's their worst, but statistically you don't know. I mean, it's far and away their worst period when it comes to that goal differential.
I don't double take a lot when doing my prep, but that number made me almost jump off the page. Adirondack minus 34 in first periods this year. Pietola up to the right point. Rail. They go middle. Martel with a one-timer. Stopped by Muse. But Adirondack had a 1-0 lead after one on Wednesday in their 4-3 setback at Kalamazoo. The Wings scored 3 in the second, 3 straight in the second, and then snapped the 3-all tie in the third. Nailers have been off since Sunday when they had a good late push, but a tough start put them behind the 8-ball against the Reading Royals. Jackson sprawled out near side. Referee O'Rourke says play on. The only work he's had to do so far is the majors and the helmet thing at the start of the game. Martel for Pietola down the left side boards. Kicks through Les. Martel to the left circle. A shot by Jackson. Blocked up and out of play.
Now, Wheeling's getting to some good scoring areas, I feel like, here early on. Might not have been able to convert their best shot attempts, but they're getting into good areas.
5:39 left to go, first period. No score here in downtown Wheeling. Nailers and Thunder going head-to-head. So let's talk about Adirondack a little bit. This is the city, Glens Falls, New York, not too far from Albany. Very beautiful part of the state near Lake George and Saratoga Springs. And they have had hockey for a long time, dating back to the ECHL days. The Adirondack Red Wings had terrific success winning Calder Cups. Then they had some AHL history with a few different organizations. They had the Adirondack Flames, they had the Adirondack Phantoms, and now the Adirondack Thunder have existed in the ECHL since 2015.
And it's for those of us who, I believe everyone has a good idea where it is, but where at in the state of New York is Glens Falls?
Eastern side.
I think everyone hears New York and you go, where? Like which part?
The whole state is New York City, according to most people. Just like the whole state of Massachusetts is evidently Boston. The Thunder are the ECHL affiliate of the New Jersey Devils and Utica Comets. I almost messed that up for the handouts this week. I put Utica Devils, thinking back to the old AHL days. Nailers win the draw. Timken just dresses one wide on the left, and luckily our fine crew was able to catch that and go, did you mean Comets? I'm like, oh yeah, I did, didn't I? White coming down the middle. It's broken up. Back the other way. It's Philman down the left side wall. Handling into the boards, Timken. Jamming there with Smirnov. Sutter cranks it off the end boards. White looking up far side. Les picks off. Looking deep for Philman. Sutter tangling with O'Neill in the near side corner. And I think Utica's a big reason why Adirondacks had the tough go that they have, because the Comets had such a miserable start to the year. So they had to change the planning. Loose puck on the doorstep, and Philman does not get a whack on it. There's a penalty coming up as a shot from the blue line was patted by Murashov. It sat there for days in the blue paint, and luckily the Nailers were able to keep Philman at bay long enough. Let's see where the penalty is going to go here.
Just trying to see who it possibly is going to be. It looks like it's going to be White. That's going to go off for the rough, I believe.
And that's exactly who it's going to be.
As we see the replay here, Waugh does a good job of being able to box out his man. Trying to see. Couldn't really see where the rough was. It must have been just outside of our camera view here as we get another angle of it. The shot comes in from O'Neill. Might have hit Young in the process of going through. And we see White coming at the end. That probably should have been against Leafers and not White.
Yeah, I don't see White doing a whole lot
I don't think White touched the guy in the process, but sure he'll take his first. Yeah, I think they're making the change out now.
Okay.
They're two really tall individuals that wear numbers in the 20s.
So it's going to be Leafers and not White. So White does not get his first minor penalty of his pro career. But Leafers does.
That's a penalty I don't mind. I feel like that was a puck that's loose on the doorstep. If that prevents a goal from possibly going in, I'm perfectly okay with it.
So it's project best penalty kill. Nailers are tied for fourth in that department at 83.7%. Thunder are 27th on the power play at 14.6. No score, 4:47 to go, first period. Obviously looking to keep it scoreless here if you are the defending Nails. Puck drilled all the way down. Muse stops it. Although, Adirondack, 8 shorties allowed, which is tied for the third most in the league.
And 6 of those have been allowed on the road as well.
Ah, good note. Puck popped, far side corner. Drake tries to hurl his man around. Near side, O'Neill picked off in the corner. Cameron sends a bouncer. Corsia makes sure it gets there. And the Thunder reset in their own end. Les starting things up. Played for Iowa, but never against us. Somehow he missed us in that season series. O'Neill tries to center for Wheeler. He's also a former Heartlander. That one doesn't connect. And Pietola winds it away. Muse goes back to stop it. Handoff taken by Conroy. Plays it up left side for the shifty Francis. Tries to get into the zone. Denied. And Lindgren pounds it away. Halfway home on the PK. Thunder started up. 3:42 to go. Scoreless first. Philman down the left side boards. He's an NHL contract with New Jersey. Steal, rail, not enough on the pass up the near side boards, but it's taken free. Koopman and Corsia come 2-on-2. Koopman spins and dunks it that way. Corsia goes off for the change.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of space to get that pass to the middle, just like getting it deep if it's not there.
I'm right there with you. Thunder come ahead with it. Conroy getting in on the right side, kicking through. Lovin tries to drop back. Jankowski steals and plops it down. Muse with Pietola lurking. Gives off to Conroy. Nailers killing for another 16 more seconds. Smith speeding up, coming in on the right side. Checks it in deep. Cameron defends to block out. Puck goes to Pietola. Clears.
That was an excellent kill there by Wheeling. There wasn't a whole lot for Adirondack to have open there. It was an absolute fantastic job.
Just shut the world down. That was fantastic. The Nailers actually got 2 shots on goal, even though they were from 1.5 miles away. The Adirondack 0. Let's see if they can use some momentum and get the opening goal here. Sutter stiffs it in, far side corner. Around by Skio. Near side, trying to protect against the wall is Mueller. Skio rides it around far boards. Martel clicks it from the far corner. Around to the near boards. Skio has it there. Riding it up for Smith. Jams in near side corner. Waugh back to defend. Springs it along the end boards. Sutter looking up far side. Doesn't connect. Icing is waved off as Bisson goes back to collect. Pursued by Martel. Takes the whack. Bisson coming ahead on the left side. Dumps it along. Murashov feeds it near side. Just out of the reach of Gervais. With the forecheck, Timken navigates over center, directs it in. O'Neill faked one way, almost got Martel. Far side, Les has to play it off the boards. Bull the forechecker at the moment. Near side, Bisson. To the middle, O'Neill. As he battles his way towards center, but that one's tipped away by Timken. Ridden in, Bull to Timken, turns it back, lingering one-timer, lands in the right corner, comes bouncing out, rail to the front, smothered away, rail now to the right point, Laviolette with a wrister off back glass, looking to celebrate pro game number 100 in style was Lavs. Stolen by the Thunder. Coming up on the left side. Conroy blows it on goal. A pad save made by Murashov. Laviolette, the stretch pass. Looking ahead for Bull. Tangled up with Vandalist. Near side corner. Koopman wraps it up. Laviolette stepping in. Right circle. Wrist shot. And a glove save made by Muse.
Getting some good shots there. I mean, that was a nice low, hard shot there by Laviolette. Just Muse is able to have that glove in a good position.
Some good action for a scoreless first period in a first head-to-head meeting.
I would say so as well. Is there a little bit of feeling out? Yes, I'm sure there is. But so far, I've really liked the pace of it.
56.5 left to go until the National Equipment Intermission report in the 0-0 tilt. So far, just the chaos that led to the Leafers penalty that's been the really probably biggest scoring attempt for either side. Most dangerous, at least. Cameron missed this wide off the kick plate. Koopman shuffles it over. Drake down the far boards. Corsia wrapping left side on his backhand. Turning nowhere in particular off the end boards. Jankowski tried to get a pivot on it. Had that one go off the wall. Koopman goes deep for Corsia. Right side trying to force the front of the net. Now on his backhand. Trying to go middle force the back wall. Jankowski to Koopman, keeps himself on balance, sat down left side circle. Nailers bench wanted to call. Cameron, the long shot, just goes wide. A reaching attempt on a save made by Muse. Puck spun up near wall. Cameron on the right side, in front of his own bench, glides ahead, puts the backhander deep, and that is how the first period comes to a conclusion. As Isaac and I were just talking about, definitely some feeling out, but very open for a feeling out first period as the two teams combine for 24 shots on the target. 13 of those taken by the Nailers, 11 by the Thunder. And some good action there to start what will be the first of 15 periods against each other over the course of these next couple of weeks. And, of course, the game starts out with the bang as Matthew Corsia and Darian Skio need just 5 seconds to throw down the gloves in center ice and treat the fans to a little bit of that side of the game off of the opening draw. But they waited long enough for hockey to be played, so both players able to stay in the game, and that's huge news for both teams. As Corsia, a very strong offensive player with 13 goals on the year, and Skio is one of Adirondack's top shutdown D-men. He's actually a +3 on the year, which says a lot considering what their record is at the moment. We're going to hear about that fight and more as we're going to go down to ice level as Isaac is with Q.
Down here at ice level of Nailers forward Matthew Corsia. Q starting the game off with a bang. Was that planned to go for?
We didn't have any group chats like Team USA going. I just think it's something we needed. We've been in and out of a little bit of a slump here, and I just want to fire the boys up and personally get that done.
First period play, first time playing Adirondack this season. Did you feel like that first period was a little bit of a feeling out process?
Yeah, 100%. We've seen a little bit on video, and I think we're just feeling each other out. I think things will open up a little bit here. Anything
you've seen since you started going against them you might be able to exploit in that second period and the rest of the game?
I think we just use our points. I think they kind of collapse to the net really well to defend. So just get pucks to the points, get to the net, and bang something home.
Thanks for a few minutes of time, Q. Best of luck the rest of the game.
Thanks, Isaac.
All right, Matthew Corsia. Not quite as a Team USA fight, as he said, against Team Canada from a few weeks ago, but entertaining nonetheless. And we had a pretty fun first period to watch, albeit a scoreless one between Wheeling and Adirondack. National Equipment Intermission Report comes your way next on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank.
Welcome to the National Equipment Intermission Report.
Welcome into the latest edition of Around the ECHL. I'm Isaac Basinger. Let's take a look at some of the hottest teams around the ECHL, and we'll start in our very own North Division. It's the Reading Royals. They're currently on a 4-game point streak in their last 10 games. They are 4-3-3-0. Reading was on a tough road trip this past week as they played on Wednesday that eventually had to go into Fort Wayne for a Friday and Saturday bout. Always tough to play in the jungle in Fort Wayne, but the Reading Royals were able to come out and defeat the Fort Wayne Comets in those first 2 games, and they had the tough travel of going overnight on Saturday into Wheeling here on Sunday. After a strong start to the game, they were able to hang on and defeat Wheeling 3-2. This week, they have a couple of tough matchups as well, but Reading continues to look to stay hot as they lost on Wednesday night 4-3 in overtime against the Maine Mariners, and that's who they play the rest of the weekend. Now let's go to the South Division, where it's the Jacksonville Icemen who are the team who has been hot of late, currently on a 7-game point streak, and in their last 10 games, they're 7-1-2-0. They won both of their games last weekend, first one being in Orlando. That's always a tough battle there, and then they eventually went to Greenville to pick up a victory as well. The Icemen, though, had a little bit of a setback in their game Wednesday in Orlando, but they still were able to get a point out of it. They lost 5-4 in overtime against the Solar Bears. To the Central Division, it's the Iowa Heartlanders. They are currently on a 5-game win streak in that Central Division. They're currently hanging on to that second playoff spot in that division. They're currently 8-2 in their last 10 games as the Heartlanders continue to play well. They won all 3 of their games last week. They played last Wednesday against Bloomington at home, but eventually had to go on the road as they were able to win against Cincinnati in overtime, and they closed out their week winning in Toledo in overtime as well. And we're going back to the Mountain Division, and it's the same team as we looked at last week. It's the Rapid City Rush. Currently on a 10-game win streak are the Rush, which is the second longest in all the ECHL this year, only to Wheeling's 13 early this season. Points in their last 11 games the Rush have as well, and they swept a weekend series against the Utah Grizzlies last weekend, and they were able to keep it rolling on Wednesday as they picked up an overtime victory against the Idaho Steelheads. Now it's time to take a look at some of the weekend games to watch, as we will start with the Norfolk Admirals and the Trois-Rivières-Lyon. That's one's a big games in the division. For Wheeling, you could possibly see Trois-Rivières drop a few spots if Norfolk's able to get the job done. But on the flip side, if the Lyon are able to continue to play well, that might give Wheeling some space in that second position. So that is definitely one to look out for. Now we go to the South Division. It's South Carolina and Florida. That's 1-2 in the South Division, and that's been an excellent matchup. South Carolina was able to pick up a victory last night against the Florida Everblades, that being Wednesday, and that should be an exciting matchup to see. They play Friday and Saturday to close out that weekend series. And then the final weekend series to look at, we've already mentioned it once. It's the Idaho Steelheads at the Rapid City Rush. Idaho is a team trying to claw their way into the playoff picture in that Mountain Division, but Rapid City, one of the hottest teams in the ECHL. That one should be fun to finish out the week. They play Friday and Saturday. Now let's take a look at the standings in the ECHL, as we will start in the North Division, where we already mentioned the Trois-Rivières-Lyon in first place. They have 75 points and currently have an 11-point lead on Wheeling. The Lyon are trying to be able to skate their way into winning that division crown. Wheeling is in second with a 3-point lead over Norfolk, as Wheeling's with 64 points, Norfolk with 61. Reading is in fifth place, only a few points back of the Worcester Railers, as Worcester has 54 points, 51 points for the Reading Royals. Maine and Adirondack close out that division, as Maine with 43, Adirondack with 38. To the South Division, we already mentioned Florida and South Carolina, 1-2 in that division, as Florida currently has the 6-point lead, so you could possibly see South Carolina trim that gap down to where they could be within striking distance. Jacksonville is in third place with their 69 points. Fourth place is Orlando with 66, and then there's a little bit of a gap, as Atlanta was with 53 points in fifth place, Savannah with 50, and then Greenville is able to close out that division with 49. To our old home, the Central Division, Toledo has a strong lead in that division with 74 points as they are in first place. Iowa has 67 points as they are in second. Fort Wayne, though, creeping right behind the Heartlanders as they are only 3 points back of them. Bloomington currently holds that fourth and final playoff spot in the Central Division with their 51 points. Indy is right outside in that chase with the 49 points. Cincinnati, 46 points in sixth place. Kalamazoo rounds it out with 45 points. So a tight matchup towards the bottom there in the Central Division. And to close things out in the Mountain Division, the Kansas City Mavericks starting to extend that lead as their lead is currently at 9 points in the Mountain Division as they have 75 points. Tulsa, who we saw last weekend, currently has 66 points. They're in second place. Wichita with 65 points is in third place, and right behind them, the Tahoe Night Monsters with 64. On the outside, looking in, we already mentioned it, the Idaho Steelheads are trying to claw their way back into the playoff picture. They're only 3 points out of a playoff spot as they have 61. And then Rapid City, mentioned, one of the hottest teams in the ECHL, has 52 points. The Utah Grizzlies have 41, and closing out that division is the Allen Americans as they are in last in the Mountain Division. Thanks for taking a look around the ECHL this week. Come back next time, and you'll find out more what's going on around the ECHL. You'll find it all right here on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank.
You're watching the National Equipment Intermission Report. You're watching the National Equipment Intermission Report.
The Wheeling Nailers kick off a 3-3 weekend against the Adirondack Thunder. It's time to take a look at highlights from that first period of play. That saw both squads not get on the board as it's 0-0 after the first period of play. First time all season that the Adirondack Thunder and the Wheeling Nailers will take battle. They will play 5 games over the next 2 weeks. As we got this game off, started with a bang as Matthew Corsi and Darian Skio dropped the gloves right off the opening face-off. Both guys got 5 minutes for fighting and 2 minutes for removing the helmet, but are all able to remain in the game. Wheeling is looking to get off to a hot start, something they did not do in their last game on Sunday, this past Sunday against the Reading Royals. Thought they did a pretty good job being able to forecheck some pucks away. This one was almost a gift for Matt Koopman as that puck laid right on the doorstep. He was able to come in, tried to fire the low shot, but the save was made by Muse. As O'Neill comes in, fires a shot in, Good save by Sergei Mudashov. Faced some shots in the early going of this one, had to make some saves. Saw Wheeling possibly work on a couple in transition offense. Martel had a couple of shots in that first period as well. Shots on goal in that first period of play saw Wheeling with 13 and Adirondack with 11. There was only one power play in that first period of play, and it was for the Thunder, but Wheeling was able to kill it off. Probably one of their better penalty kills they've had all season. Didn't really allow Adirondack to get anything moving on that power play, and really felt like they gained a little bit of momentum there at the end of that first period of play. Again, these are two teams that have not played each other all season, had a little bit of a feeling out process. There's that penalty we talked about. Eli Liefers came in and was just trying to clear the blue paint by Sergei Mudashov. I think that's a penalty I think you're okay at taking, because if there's a loose puck on the doorstep, you definitely don't want it to go in your net. Again, no score after the first period of play. Second period action will come your way next on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank.
Thanks for watching the National Equipment Intermission Report.
We are just moments away from the second period in this 0-0 game, and the second period is brought to you by Edward Jones. To win in sports, adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of your investments. Daniel Young, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help you create a game plan for your financial goals. Call 304-243-1887 or stop by their location in downtown Wheeling near Center Market to get started today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Couple of division games to touch on. It's 2-1 Reading in the second period against the Maine Mariners. 1-0 Norfolk after one period of play in Trois-Rivières. 2-0 Worcester has lead against Bloomington. Olas going against his former team earlier this season.
Oh, okay. Nailers going from right to left in this second period. Thunder going from left to right. Flip-flop those directions if you're watching along on WTRF, My Ohio Valley, and FloHockey. Boy, just having to change the names of these teams repeatedly, it seems like over the last couple of weeks, can't quite settle into one at a time. We had Oilers and Royals and Stingrays and Swamp Rabbits and Fuel and just the whole gamut of opponents, it felt like.
Oh, my.
Seriously. Lingering at the left point, tries to nudge it down the wall, broken up by Young, and Lingering bodied off Young after giving the puck away. Young hadn't gotten the puck, and that is unfortunately 1,000,000% correct on interference against Lingering.
Yes, I think he was going to be able to get away with the initial push, but he went back again, and I think that's where Lingering's going to have to go to the box. So we saw Wheeling have a really, really good project best penalty kill for that first one. See if they can duplicate it here in the beginning of the second period.
Yeah, if we want to take a look at that replay one more time, and we'll show you exactly what we're talking about here as Lindgren turns the puck over, and then maybe as soon as you tangle and Young can't get to the puck, that's right where that interference minor comes into play.
You could slightly have them deviate his path, but as soon as you said, as soon as the body turned, it was definitely interference.
Project best penalty kill for the Nailers. They get it to the line, but not out. Vandalese lets one fly from the right point. That one's blocked. Lands far boards. Pietola sprints up to it. Center circle. In for Leafers on the left side. Looking deep for Pietola, who anchors it around. And it's easier to say it than do it, right? The thought is, well, you just try and skate, right? You don't want to try and get the body on there, but nature says, I got to try and recover this as quickly as I can. As Conroy is shot into traffic, body down, Motorshop puts the glove down on top of it. The body says you want to immediately, as soon as it's like if you drop something, you're trying to reach and try and grab it back, and you're trying to grab, in this case, a hockey player back.
Yeah, it's one of those penalties as well. If Lindgren doesn't do that, it's probably a breakaway opportunity for Adirondack. You can look at it and go, you don't want to take the penalty, but also at the same time, I don't think goaltenders want to face breakaways that often either.
As good as Sergey is at them, 1:23 left on the kill. Less at the right point. Feeds it to the top of the circle. Wheeler. Less to the top of the left circle. Young steps in towards the dot and then punched it over top. Less at the right point. Goes down the wall. Wheeler. Half boards. Side of the net. Gervais tried to spin and shoot all in one motion, but Sutter was right there. O'Neill, top of the left circle to Less, center point. Young, bottom of the left circle, twirling along, left boards, harassed by Koopman, who applies the body and forces out to neutral ice. Good work there, playing up top by Matt Koopman. You want to be aggressive if you're a forward on the penalty kill. O'Neill tries to dance his way in. He got sat down, and the puck gets sent down.
Yeah, he was able to get around one, but the second layer able to stop that entry. That's where a good penalty is really good, not allowing an entry.
30 seconds left to kill. Leafers on the pursuit, but O'Neill busts through with this onto the right side. Wheeler, center point, Less. Curving right, then giving off. O'Neill at the left side circle towards the dot. Gives it low. Less at the left point. Now Young at the left circle towards the dot. Feeds it deep. O'Neill curling into the circle. Now to the blue line. Less going middle. Wrist shot. Ticked wide off Jankowski. Cameron takes, throws ahead, high stick, yes, on Gervais, perfect timing. Lingering can stroll out of the penalty box at a leisurely pace.
Yeah, that one, if it would have been touched just a second sooner, Lingering probably would have had to stay in the box for a breath and then would have been able to exit the box. But being able to get that fresh line out there, I thought that was another excellent kill by Wheeling. Didn't allow a whole lot. Maybe the one chance where there was the bodies in front, but I don't even know if that puck even got on goal.
Center circle face-off, and the Great Nailers logo facing the opposite direction of the Herb Electric broadcast booth. The black and sunflower yellow, or Penguins gold, if you will. Thunder dump it deep, which is mirrored on the Nailers' black and white uniforms this season. Alternate is the Vegas gold. Jackson trying to cruise on through, knocked aside. Smirnov bumps it along, far wall. Mueller harassed. Pietola shakes it deep. Muse behind the net, whips it along far side boards. Adirondack has hit 2 power plays in this hockey game. They have not recorded a shot on goal on either of them.
And it's just been an excellent job of either blocking shots or not allowing entries.
Yes. Thunder dump this one in. Sutter to retrieve. Coming up the left side in his own end. Gives up to Martell. He comes dancing in. Drops it off. Jackson. One more to Pietala, who dusted it wide to the left. Martell up to the blue line. Rail, a left point wrist shot. Explodes off of Muse's gear all the way as far as the blue line. Nailers reset. Waugh. Bodied away by Bull. He leads Rail, speeding in. Right side, breaks it. Laviolette, right side shot, saved. Made by Muse, scrambling his Bull on the rebound. Bodies get tangled up as it was Bull getting into a tussle with Wheeler. Wheeler is going to try to use the linesman's legs like we're in a playhouse as the play ends.
Bull, former Adirondack Thunder himself, trying to make a little bit of an impact in this one is there. And one thing I'm noticing here early as we move into this weekend of games, Muse is allowing some big rebounds so far.
Wheeler thought that the linesman's legs were a tunnel, apparently. And then he realized, ooh, I have a lot of gear on. That's probably going to be a tough squeeze.
Be a little claustrophobic as well. I think Bull's going to have to get a new helmet. I think he said the strap might have been broken on his, as Jankowski's just going to come out for him.
Nailers' 21st year equipment manager Bill Higgins put to work there. Bill had his 1,500th game earlier this season in the home opener. Thunder up the far boards, and Rail, like an outfielder at the wall, watches that one fly away.
And that one is gone, unfortunately, or fortunately for Wheeling. That doesn't count for anything.
They'll just dig a new hockey puck out of the freezer and get ready for another offensive zone draw for the Nailers.
For as much as we start to see the sun last a little bit longer, you know it's really time for spring training.
Yes. We had a great look throughout to the water today in the Yerb Electric broadcast booth.
Practically, we were at the beach.
We turn the clocks forward next weekend, huh?
Yeah, so I've been told.
Thank God we're not traveling in the middle of that. That's the worst scenario. You're in your middle of a 3-3 and you're like, great, we have to go somewhere and we lose an hour. That's awesome. Jankowski at the right point, dancing, sprays one wide of the target. Behind the goal, Collin trying to turn with it. Far side, bodied into there by Gervais. Comes up to the right point, Cameron tries to angle it along. Imagine if you're having to go against the timeline the other way too. That'd be like the double unfortunate circumstance. Trying to keep it G-rated. Puck ends up spinning to the far side. O'Neal skating forward for the Thunder. Gervais carrying in, looks over, far side Young in the left circle. Pass blocked by Cameron. Had a chance to start it up to Collin. He's crashed in front of the penalty boxes. Now Cameron gets him. Right side score! A sizzling wrist shot into the left side of the net from the right circle, and the Nailers score first at 4:52 of the second, 1-0.
Cole Cameron's first goal since November 9th. It does an absolute fantastic job. Christopher Collin takes a hit to move the puck. And eventually you're going to see Cameron come down that right side, picks his spot, and is able to put it in just inside of that left post.
What a shot by Cole Cameron. Fantastic. That's goal number 3 on the year for him. And Isaac mentioned first one since November. Lingering plates it in near side, and that should be the first Wheeling assist for Christopher Collin, who had one as a member of Trois-Rivières last season. Puck comes up the near wall. Timken tries to hook away. Friedman charging back, leaves off, right circle. Philman tries to spit it through. On the backhand, had it blocked. Philman curves high on the left side of the zone. Over Conroy, right side one-timer. Murashov the save. Timken able to wash it out to neutral ice with some help. Thunder reset at their own line. Less looking ahead. This one tipped by Philman. Lindgren has Francis just squeeze right around him as they play up against the end boards. Nailers knock it free. Jankowski tries to lead an odd man rush. Comes in on the right side, looking middle for Corsia, but it went looping off a stick and landed wide of the net. Francis battling near side, shoving off his Timken. Side of the net, Mudashov winds it around far boards. Skio putting pressure on. Jankowski slides this deep, putting on the burners is Gibson, and it's an icing call against Wheeling. 1-0 Nailers in the lead with 6:07 gone in period 2.
Yeah, Gibson turned on those burners, as you said, or lack thereof. I think he saw that he could take an alternate route to try to get to that puck and make sure that he got the whistle for icing.
Cameron's third from Cullen at 4:52. Nailers up 1-0 here in the second. Not quite a vulnerable minute goal, but do you think there was any momentum gained off the kill?
I think so. I thought there was a little bit of momentum coming from the end of the first period as well, and you had another chance to have a good chance after a shot is going to be blocked up into the netting.
Francis by Waugh. 6:10 gone in the second. 1-0 Nailers on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank. .6:10 gone in our second period. Nailers with the 1-0 lead as we enjoy what's becoming a nightly media timeout occurrence here. Our nightly volleyball action.
Next year, whenever maybe we can start now, we got to start getting section standings to see what section wins more often than the other.
Have them go head-to-head, bracket style. Defensive zone face-off for the Nailers. Waugh near side, bumps it up the wall, skitters around, set down by Smith. It went out, it went back in. You can't do that. It's offside.
Back to the point I was trying to make before we had the media timeout. Thought that the penalty kills definitely gave Wheeling some momentum. I felt like, as you mentioned, 0 shots that came out of both of those power plays for Adirondack. I mean, you could look at that as a team. If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will.
Thunder possess this. Les dumps it around. Takes a hop, skip, and a jump. Waugh shuffles it over near side. Martel tried to spin it up the near side boards. They tie up 4 in front of the Bud Light Blue Line Lounge, always a popular destination on a frosty Friday. Nailers have another one of those coming up in a couple of weeks. We got Fort Wayne coming in for that one. Haven't seen them in a while in this building. School day in November.
I was going to say, that was going to be my guess.
We're going to play another school day before we see him again. Sutter kicks it around, plays it up. Right side, Martel coming in. Left circle, turning, drops it back. Waugh, straight away, wrister. Oh, it changed directions and lofted onto the left side, off backboards. Loven carrying ahead on the right side, gets a backhander off, and squeezing that Mudashov. Rail carries Smith and tries to smother his face on the glass.
Talk about you want to try to get the players out of the blue crease. You know, if you carry them as far away as possible, they're not going to be able to get there. I really did, though, on that last rush, liked what Martel did. I think you're starting to see a guy who's a natural goal scorer might not be able to get those goals of late. I'm happy he didn't force a shot there. So you can look at it and go, all right, I have to shoot this. I liked how he stopped, found the trailer, and was able to get a pretty good shot on net. As you said, that puck changed direction. Don't know if it was a Wheeling tip or it went off a Thunder stick.
That Friday Fort Wayne game 2 weeks from today is the next time the Nailers don't play a North Division team. This is the second of 8 straight against the North, a division in which Wheeling is 11-6-1 against so far this year, including tonight 13 left against this group of squads. Lindgren sends a bouncer in. Koopman keeps it moving. Rail tries to go middle for Jankowski. That one's driven the length. And Lindgren will give it a little effort at the end there to make sure that icing happens with 7:31 gone in the second, 1-0 Wheeling.
You mentioned all of the variety that Wheeling's had in the schedule this season. Adirondack so far in this season has played 11 games not in division.
I think we've done that in the last month.
Yeah.
Literally, because we did what? We did 2 at Tulsa. We did the 3 down south. That's 5 right there in 2 weekends. We had the, 5 straight against Central clubs? Lindgren stepping deep on the left side. On goal, save Muse. Koopman jams away. Can't get it to go. Now Rail dances. Right dot. Can't get it through. Lindgren feeds it back. Rail out to Jankowski. Hey, great job covering the blue line with Lindgren and Rail both deep. Jankowski learned a thing or two from playing the blue earlier this year. Garcia tries to turn Loven. Far side corner. Into the right circle. Jankowski sliding it softly back. Now Lindgren powering his way deep. Turning left side. Almost lost it through the trapezoid. Koopman near side boards. Trying to bounce off a check from Loven. They keep it moving. Vandelis shoved into by Corsia. Near side corner just in front of the crease for Nolan. Off the far side boards and down. Wheeler we get there ahead of Lindgren and Rail, who are trying to communicate whose puck it was. And the puck goes gliding back into Adirondack territory. Skio in front of the benches, led by our Goldbach chiropractic coaching matchup, as O'Neill winds wide of the net, that being Derek Army and Peter MacArthur going head-to-head for the first time ever. Long right point wrist shot denied on its way as the attempt came from Conroy. Now it's Skio nearly fumbling out of the zone. He does on the second time. White steals, tries to dance O'Neill. Couldn't get there though. Thunder come back in on the left side. A high riser by Young goes up over top of the net. Nailers had the defense back if need be.
That's a tired defense as well, trying to get off.
White ahead for Timken, coming in left side, jams on the brakes, rolls it down the wall. That's a brilliant play by the young man Cole Timken, who made his pro debut last weekend. Slowly getting it as deep as possible to what Isaac said, making sure those defensemen can get off the ice. Cameron, who has the lone goal tonight, the Wheeling 1-0 lead as we approach the midway mark of period 2 here in downtown Wheeling. A lot of 4-H clubs here this evening as well. Happy to have them join us today. Thunder battle it ahead. Coming in on the left side is Philman. Tries to dangle. Goes off Laviolette's foot and sets down for Collin. He leads Leafers away. Right side tries to go middle. Smirnov back check. Fell over but still made the defensive play and zinged the distance. Waugh bodies off Philman. Plays up the near side boards. Looking a little sloppy out there at the moment.
Yeah, teams are trying to go in big rushes and not really on the same page.
Seems like they might be rushing things just a tad. Vandelis banks this one. Icing. Okay. Maybe a deep breath is all we need to settle this thing down at 9:48 to go in the second.
The players were getting into good areas, being able to try to go on rushes, but we talk about it all the time. Maybe you're trying to get a little bit too fancy as you're trying to possibly go for that drop pass, trying to find the man, but you got to have someone to fill those lanes in the rush.
Offensive zone face-off coming up for the Nailers, who lead this game 1-0. First of back-to-back here this weekend against the Thunder. Battle Royale tomorrow, 7:10. Get those tickets at WheelingNailers.com. Waugh backpedals, gives off. Sutter, one-timer, fought off by Muse. Rebound, dribbled off of Jackson in wide right. Tied up backboards. Pietola tries to fish it out of there. Pounded off the far side wall, out to center ice. Sutter gathers in off the near side boards. Jackson rolls it up. Here comes Martel at the left circle. Drops it off. Sutter, open right side shot. Muse out to challenge, and he stopped it.
Muse is super far out of his crease to make that save. He did a good job reading it.
Oh, Aiden coming close on pro goal number 1. 9:16 left in the second. 1-0 Nailers on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank. 9:16 left to go, second period. Cole Cameron has the Wheeling Nailers ahead of the Adirondack Thunder. 1-0 here tonight. Offensive zone draw coming up. Nice day here in downtown Wheeling. Temps getting to 50. We flip the calendar to March tomorrow. Everybody ready? Spring is upon us, which means the always exciting march to the playoffs, as we like to call it here in Wheeling. And the march is something that it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to enjoy and see. Doesn't feel like an if, but when the Nailers can officially put that X next to their name in the standings.
Yeah, most of the time you don't want to get excited about, oh, you're losing games in the season. This time it's a good thing for Wheeling.
Smith coming in on the right side. Rail forces Mueller up against the corner glass. Pietola skates ahead. Corsia coming in right side, shifting on his man, protecting in the slot. Tried to give off for Jackson. Nailers ended up fumbling it away. Loven looking middle. Corsia, good job getting back defensively against Bisson. Scraped up near boards. Corsia touches over for David Drake. Feeds to the right. Jankowski looking middle. Gives to Koopman. Koopman strolling in. Right side. Protects on his backhand. Looking middle. Goes off the far wall. Cameron lets one go from the right point. Whacked on a rebound by Corsia. Muse finds it on the left leg pad.
Corsia tried to go from that tough angle. Saw him score one right in that similar area on Sunday against Reading, but that was off of a wraparound chance of the rebound. But no, Wheeling firing those low shots. We're getting another look at it here. Koopman goes around the net, tries to go for the wraparound on the backhand, a low shot. I don't think it ever got on net from Cameron, but we were able to say Muse is the last second to be able to slide over to his left and make that save with the pad.
7:58 left to go, second period, 1-0 for Wheeling. This date in Wheeling hockey history coming up on the radio side of things during our National Equipment Intermission Report. And what do you have on television today?
We have a little combination of Snack of the Week and a mic'd up preview.
Okay. Just did the Snack of the Week yesterday with David Drake. It was yesterday. You would think I knew what I just ate, and I'm still...
I remember what it is.
Okay.
But I'm not going to spoil it for everybody, though.
No. Next week's is going to be Elite, which we're shooting tomorrow.
Can't spoil that for everyone.
No. But it's going to be really, really good. Wow. The video is going to be really, really good. The item, I don't know. We're going to find that out with the special guest who's visiting Wheeling tomorrow. Rough battle on the near side. Timken doesn't care how big Vandalist is. He'll punch anybody in sight.
I think he was ready to go.
He rocks Wheeler on the far side, and he steals the puck away. Right circle, drop pass. Leafers tries to dangle to the slot. Wants to smooth over near side for Drake. Picked off by Nolan. Back in come the Thunder. Nailers have not gotten to enjoy any AEP power play time tonight. They have killed 2 penalties, though, and done a great job at it. 2 penalty kills, no power plays, out shooting a team by 10, up 1-0. Doing well so far. Corsia dumps this one in near side corner. Skio rims it around far side. Koopman trying to put some ozone pressure on. Waugh at his own blue line. Picked free. O'Neal coming in. Left side shot blocked. Another one. Young coming in and getting the knob of the stick on that was Mudashov. Out to the center point. Looking and taking a wrist shot and having it blockered away was Conroy. Corsia wanted to lead Jankowski away. Couldn't do so. And then Gervais got stood up. And I think Sutter was the main manufacturer of that check. Sutter whipped ahead. Corsia couldn't knock down. Jankowski does. Drops off. Corsia steps in right circle. Wrist shot. And the flashy glove save made by Muse.
That was a fantastic save made by Muse. That was developing into a quick odd man rush. Corsia had, I believe it was Koopman going to the net on the other side. Almost looked off the pass coming in, and that was a rifle of a shot, but Muse able to get that glove up there at the very last second.
Corsia was trying to add to his Cy Young season and make him 14-7 on the year.
Yeah, if you look at it, Corsia, his ERA goes up a little bit with the penalty minutes as he's so what, he's got a 1.47 ERA now?
Yeah. For those going, what on earth are these morons talking about? Goals and assists, it's in the same columns as wins and losses in baseball. So everybody, when you have a whole pile of goals and not many assists, they go, oh, you're going for the Cy Young this year.
And I decided to take his penalty minute total and add it to it.
Yeah, I like that, though. Garcia has 13 goals and 7 assists on the year. Rail stepping deep on the right side, looking towards the goal. Flees behind the net. Gives out. Left point lingering. Shot blocked. Comes back towards his direction, but carrying away is less. Bounding puck. In on the far side. Going deep. Bisson tries to go middle. Shut off. Lingering. Taken by Collin on the far side. Maneuvering his way ahead. Christopher Collin dekes his way through. Bull protecting off some hard pressure by the Thunder. Oh, man, Collin stayed strong on his feet at the blue line as the D's were in the midst of a change and did not allow the Thunder to get in with numbers. Mudashov has to wait for the puck to enter the trapezoid. Then he spins it out on the far side. Bull gets around one. Coming in right side. Tips it low. Beneath the goal line, bodied into there by Vandelist. Gibson to his own slot. Francis off to Philman. Tries the drop pass. Jumped in by Francis, and Mudashov feeds it over. Cameron back to Drake. 5:14 left to go. Second period, 1-0 Wheeling. Bull comes in, gliding left to the circle. Slides it along. Martel, far side. Braces for contact from Vandelist. Puck kicked over. It's Francis, spilling deep far corner. Drake and boards, touches it along far wall, and Pietola has. Maneuvers to the left. Drake flips it up, bounce down, Skio, right side of his own blue line. Glove down by Lovin, trudges in deep on the right. David Drake with the active stick, pokes to the wall. Comes to the right point. Skio navigates it over. Left point riser. Conroy off back glass. Wheeler trying to swivel. Far side. Goes deep. Drake carries his man to the back wall. Conroy escapes the traffic jam. Turning left side in the corner. Got it free. Nolan in front. And a good block by Wheeling. I think that was Drake getting there to force it wide back into that corner. That was a dangerous chance brewing for Nolan, who was open towards the bottom of the left circle. But the Nailers do not allow him to do much.
And they're able to calm things down as well. Still haven't gotten out of the zone yet, but able to calm it down a little bit. Felt like they were starting to get a little hemmed in there.
Got the forwards partially changed. Thunder coming back in. Bisson, a shot from the left circle, blocked away by Mudashov. Young with a cannon as he spun it from the right wall. Save made. Mudashov now. Wheeler and Cameron exchanging blows. Linesmen step in to try and halt that action.
It looked like Wheeler was starting to go after Mudashov after he made the save.
Fans all love it. 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to play. In our second period, Nailers have a 1-0 lead here on home ice. Now Skio comes after Rail a mile after the whistle. And yeah, I know you're new to the arena or newer to the arena, but in case you might be colorblind too, your bench is on the other side of center red, so you can find yourself there once you sit in the penalty box. How about that?
Wheeling might be getting a power play out of this as well.
That was absolute stupidity by Skio.
And we're 100% certain he was on the ice during that last play, correct?
I think so.
You always have to make sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. We were preoccupied with Wheeler. Well, anyways, I was going to talk about our Laudamus Communications broadcast tweets, which you can always tweet at us, at Deej_HockeyPXP and I_Basinger. Joni says, good evening, and a Let's Go Nailers. Shout out to Jim, Angie, George, and Pickles, along with Egghead. Also want to give a shout out to Easton Criswell, celebrating her 9th birthday tonight at the hockey game. Like, what on earth could have been going through the brain cells of Darian Skio there? I'm very curious. Louis Rail, like...
Not something Louis Rail does very often.
No. If you read the stat pack, which teams can find in their dressing rooms, you'll find out that Louis has 30 penalty minutes in this his 51st game.
As we get a little bit of a conversation between the benches between Corsia and Gervais, who's very animated.
Gervais accusing Corsia or somebody of a turtle.
As Gervais has all of his 34 penalty minutes on the season.
Wow. What is this? But, all right. We'll season this 5-game series a little bit. I don't mind it. I'll spice it up. That's fine.
As we found out during in my interview with Matthew Corsia, he just wanted to get the game started, just get a little bit of energy because the team been reeling a little bit. Now this has just continued to move into something even bigger.
Referee O'Rourke goes over to both head coaches, Derek Army and Pete MacArthur. Like, I mean, I don't see what Rail would have done, and if you're accusing a guy that doesn't play like that of like, if you're going to accuse, which I hope they're not, accusing Rail 5'10", 180 of turtling against 6'4", 220 Skio, like, give me a break.
Still haven't announced what the penalty is. It's neither in this. Oh, is it being added now?
I got it. Unsportsmanlike.
So that's all it's going to be right now. So Wheeling will get an AEP power play out of it.
And that'll be the first one of the night for the Nailers, who are 4th in the league at 23.1%, which includes an even 25% here at home. Adirondack on the penalty kill is 28th at an even 73%. O'Rourke spent way more time than he should have at the Adirondack bench after that altercation.
I almost would have wished Wheeling would have stayed at the bench, possibly could have used it as an impromptu timeout to try to draw something up here on the power play.
Either that or line guys up and say, hey, let's go. Almost force the linesman into dropping it early. Like, we're ready. Sorry if you're not. Oh, I'd love to score here and just make that pay. Goes down to Murashov, who plays it up on the left side to Jackson. Dropping off, Lindgren will restart from square one. Has it from behind his net. Comes up the middle. Turns right, then almost gave it away to Smith. They get jammed up in front of the penalty boxes. Kicked free for Martel. Center circle. In is Jankowski. Down the wall. It goes to Martel. Left boards. Twisting. Jackson at the left point. Lindgren. Right circle to Martel. Left circle. Wrists it towards the goal. Bodied away. Eli Leifer's getting some power play time. Using that big body to go to the front of the net. Comes up near side and Friedman throws it down to Murashov. Plates it up for Lindgren. 1:02 left in the power play. 2:46 separates us from our second National Equipment Intermission report. Stretch pass too far in front of Jankowski. Vandalese gets back defensively, far corner. Swatted at, comes around, near boards. Jackson blazes it around. Lindgren along the far wall. Plays it off the boards. Lovin up over top. Murashov, can he get there before the goal line? Yes, and he got it away from Young. Martel bounces it off to Jackson. He comes rushing in, crisscrossing through, and a dipping shot against the grain. And a save with the glove by Muse.
I think Muse was starting to go way too far over on the spot there. I think that was, it looks like a beautiful glove save, but I think he almost skated himself out of position to have to make that beautiful save.
Mark that shot down, guys. Well, we're going to take another look at that, but I want to watch this current play first with still 29 seconds to go on the power play. So when we get another whistle after the power play, I want to look at that last chance by Kyle Jackson and show you how tricky that shot really was to be able to save it for Muse. Far side battle. Rail sauces it over to Pietola in front of the benches. Shoved off by Gervais. Has some help from behind by Rail. Fans wanted to call, but there have only been 3 power plays tonight, so you're not going to get a whole lot out of there, and that's fine. Koopman comes rushing through, crisscrossing left side. Nope, it's offside. Koopman let it go regardless. And we'll get the stoppage. 1 second, maybe, on the power play. 1:46 to go. Second period. Now Skio chatting with Corsia.
He's 1 second. He's got to go back to the box.
All right, are we going to get this look now? Yeah. So Jackson cuts across the middle, and Muse, as you watch from behind the net, has to move from his glove side to his blocker side. But then, so your momentum is carrying you for him towards that right, and then has to quickly not only react back against his body towards his glove side, the left, but also has to reach down and pick it with his glove from maybe 4 inches off the ice.
It was an impressive save there. That is an incredibly tough play. As I think the fans here at West Bank Arena saw Skio go back to the box. It's not for 2 minutes, it's for a second.
Corsia not on the ice at the moment.
He escorted him over to there, though.
It's good. It's always nice to show some hospitality here at West Banco Arena. We're the friendly city. Icing waved off as the rim went to the Thunder. A shot from the wall. Murashov sticked it away. Skio bumping with White. And there's no way, with tonight being the first time the Nailers have played with a full complement of players in 6 games, that Corsi is going to try another one and make us play short tomorrow.
I mean, he'd be done for the rest of the night as well.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 2 fights. Icing by a nose hair on the Nailers with 1:23 left to go in our second period. 1-0 Wheeling in the lead.
And it's one of those rules where, you know, you have that fight off the beginning, try to get a little something going for both of the teams. If something comes up later in the game, if you're doing it, you're getting tossed.
Draw coming up to Murashov's left. Piettel, you can't kick a guy out of a draw when he doesn't even have his stick down. All right, but I mean, it's the warning, I guess, on the icing, so I guess he took too long to get the stick down. All right, come on, let's go. Let's figure this out, guys. It's a face-off. Now O'Neill's not putting down. We're going to warn him? Jeez. Gibson to Vandalists. Into the middle. Chunked that as it's fluttered behind the goal. Sutter comes up right side for Piettel. Long wrister, sticked away off the back glass by Muse. To their credit, though, as much as I love to complain, face-offs have been miles better this year than we saw in previous years. There were some years where it just felt like it took an eternity for them to drop them.
Oh, easily.
And
100% agree.
And guys were getting kicked out like it was their job. Cameron throws it out. Isaac's getting ready to go talk to Cole down in the interview room as the Nailers have a 1-0 lead with 41 seconds to go in the second period. O'Neill tips it deep. Going back to fetch is Cameron. Drives it up far side. Koopman makes sure it gets to the center snowy ice as it's taken by Les. Far side Bisson leading in. Comes Philman trying to crisscross the zone. Corsia defends. Jankowski flips it ahead. Corsia bodied into in front of the Adirondack bench. Far side, Bisson loads it into the far corner. Waugh, first one on it as he sets up shop behind his net. Sergey says, you can keep it moving if you want, Fip. And looks like Waugh is just content to bring us to that National Equipment Intermission report right about now. He carried it over to the left side, and that's where the period came to its end. So Cole Cameron's goal, 4 minutes and 52 seconds into the second, is all we've seen on the scoreboard yet in this hockey game. Now Murashov, who's he chatting with as he skates off of the ice? Oh, that's Smirnov, their fellow countryman. There's no harm there. That one's okay. Sometimes you got to read between the lines and figure out who knows who and what the scenario is there. Skio now goes over for a conversation with the referee O'Rourke, and David Jankowski goes over and says, hey, what are you guys talking about? I want to end this on us conversation too. Wonder if Skio's talking about his penalty. as the Nailers lead the Thunder 1-0. Thunder coaches Pete MacArthur and Mike Bergen now turning back. Meanwhile, linesmen are having a conversation with O'Neill. Skio and Jankowski. Skio still very demonstrative in his chat with O'Rourke. O'Rourke will work here tomorrow. Now Jankowski wants his turn for a one-on-one, and that is granted to him. And now for a one-on-one that we want to hear, it's Isaac and Cole Cameron.
Down here at ice level of Nailers defenseman Cole Cameron. Cole, you scored the goal to make it 1-0. How important is scoring the first goal in these types of tight battles?
Yeah, I think it's big for momentum, and it's helped our team along the way this year. So anytime we can get the first one, I think it's good for our confidence and helps our game throughout the rest of, obviously, the period and onwards.
From a personal standpoint, first goal since early November. How does that feel for yourself?
It's obviously nice to get back in that column. Obviously, it's not necessarily my game, but anytime I can contribute and get one on the board for the team, really happy to do that. And I think it's got to get more pucks to the net, and that's just a good bounce. Obviously, I got lucky with that jump, and then you never know where it's going to go when you put it on net. So we've been really stressing that lately, and luckily for me, it went in.
What do you guys have to do to close this one out here in this tight battle?
We got to stay disciplined. Obviously, getting into some penalties, and there's a little bit of rough stuff going on there. So stay disciplined this period. Stay tight, stick to our structure, keep the shots outside, and then obviously we can get another one that's just going to help defend as well. So
thanks, Cole, for a few minutes time. I'll let you finish drinking that water. Best of luck the rest of the game.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Cole Cameron, a well-deserved drink after that 1-0 goal here in the second period. What a snipe as you see it on the television side. Beating goaltender to the blocker side. We'll recap that goal and tell you all about what happened in the second period, plus more great National Equipment Intermission Report content on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank.
Welcome to the National Equipment Intermission Report.
Hey Nailers fans, it's time for another exciting episode of Snack of the Week, brought to you by Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop. This week, my guest is Nailers defenseman David Drake. And Draker, we've got a big promotion coming up on Saturday night. You know what that means, big crowd. It's Battle Royale. You guys fired up for it?
Yeah, ready to go. Already have the kids going, so it'll be loud and it'll be fun.
All right, so Battle Royale, for those that are unfamiliar with it, think Fortnite. Now, we couldn't quite find one of the foods in Fortnite, but I did a play on words. You're a little bit familiar with the game. You want to have a guess of what I might have gone with this week?
No clue. No, I have no idea.
All right, open up the bag there. In the game, they have Hop Rocks, so we went with
Some Pop Rocks.
some Pop Rocks. There we go. We got all sorts of different flavors. They have all those at Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop. Pick a flavor. What do you like?
I think I'm going to go with the grape.
The grape. Okay. I went with some of the different varieties of it. Apple, because it's in Fortnite. They also have cotton candy. I thought that was unique, but original cherry from all the way back in the 1970s.
Looks older.
Can you beat the OG? I don't know if you can.
Probably not. I'll go grape, though. I think grape's a good call.
I'm going to guess that you're familiar with Pop Rocks.
Oh, yeah.
You eat them a lot as a kid?
I don't know about a lot, but go to a gas station and definitely grab these a few times.
Do you eat them alone or do you put them on anything?
That's a great question. I think I'm just straight out the bag.
Straight out of the bag?
All down, yeah.
All right, well, let's enjoy and go down memory lane with some Pop Rocks. They pop like crazy when you throw them in the mouth.
Wow.
Oh,
It's been a minute.
it's been a minute. Still just as awesome as it always has been.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we prepare for our Battle Royale on Saturday night, tell me about your Fortnite knowledge. What's your favorite skin in the game?
I'm not sure about favorite skin. I think like the older skins the kids like, the ones that you got like early on in the game. But yeah, I've been playing for a minute, and I think it's been like almost 10 years the game's been out now.
Really?
Maybe I'm completely wrong, but
Favorite emote in the game?
favorite emote, probably just the gritty, like fan favorite for the kids. But I'm not emoting too much, acting like I've been there before.
All right, do you play against any teammates? And if so, who do you think on this team is good, and who do you think on this team is not the greatest?
I know a few guys play like in a group. I play with some friends back home, but I think Chris Ortiz is, from what I'm hearing, he's the best on the team.
Really?
Not with us right now, but I think he's a top dog. And then I hear Marty, skill guy on the ice, but maybe not so much in Fortnite.
Okay.
But I think he tries hard, and I think him and Poppy have some battles.
All right, and your all-time favorite video game?
Probably Call of Duty 4. I think it's like one of the first games I really got into and could spend like 12 hours on it. I was like 10 years old, probably like 12 pack of Mountain Dew and 12 hours of Call of Duty, so it's probably pretty good for me.
Sounds like a successful day to me. I don't know about you. All right, so how about the snack of the week? We love the Pop Rocks, still as good as they were back when you first tried them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you can get your different flavors of Pop Rocks at Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop, and as always, they are happy to bring us our Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop snack of the week.
Give me the sculpts. Yeah.
Good. Remember, when you're doing use selfish face off, you guys stay dialed, get in.
Oh, messed me right up. Oh.
I got it, JD. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was a good look.
Kelly!
Whiteson 1, Darkson 2. Oh, you did it. Get our feet set here. Oh, what a...
Hey, good play there. I don't know if you had space, like middle, drop behind. I couldn't really tell. They clogged it pretty well. Make a play here. Make a play. Watch this. It'll be good.
Yeah, first D.
I'll take Lou. I'll take the other one.
Okay, Jacko's got second D. Marty. Kate got Reuben. Kate.
You're watching the National Equipment Intermission Report. You're watching the National Equipment Intermission Report.
Big one here at West Banco Arena. It's the first of a 3-3 weekend between the Wheeling Nailers and the Adirondack Thunder. Let's take a look at those highlights so far from tonight's first 2 periods of play. It's the first of 5 games between the Wheeling Nailers and the Adirondack Thunder. They all come within a 2-week span, as we kicked off on a fantastic note as we saw Darian Skio and Matthew Corsia both dropped the gloves in the first 5 seconds of the game, trying to get the crowd and both teams energized. We heard from Corsia saying, both teams may be in a little bit of a slide here, trying to get it going here early. We saw Wheeling fire a good amount of shots on goal in that first period of play, as they had 13 compared to Adirondack's 11. Wheeling was able to try to get some really good chances in that first period of play, trying to work that transition offense. But you also saw Adirondack do a lot of the same here as well, as Kevin O'Neill came in on that right side, was able to fire a shot. He's their leading point scorer. He's someone you certainly want to watch out for. Here's another guy you want to watch out for Wheeling. It's Jordan Martell. Only the 10 goals on the season so far, but he is certainly a threat whenever he's on the ice. Another chance here for the Thunder, but Sergei Mudashov served. Hold in that first period of play was really, really good for Wheeling. Power plays after that first period of play saw Adirondack have the only one, as we'll get a look at it here towards the end of the first period highlights to see where that penalty came from. Martell had another shot there towards the end of that period. We saw Cole Timken get into a good scoring area as well, as he was looking for pro goal number 1. This is the play here where we see the first penalty of the game. Shot was loose on the doorstep. We saw Wheeling try to clear it out of the way. Eli Leifers, that's a penalty I certainly don't mind. Wheeling was able to kill it, and it felt like they got a good amount of momentum out of that play. Again, our score was no score after that first period of play. Saw a little bit of tug-of-war during that intermission there as well, as now we move to the second period where things started to heat up a little bit in the play. Adirondack gets another early power play in the period. That was really only the big chance there. It didn't count as a shot on that. 2 power plays so far in this game for Adirondack. Wheeling has not allowed a shot, and Wheeling has really taken that momentum and moved to the other direction with it, getting some good scoring chances as Louis Rail stops on a dime here, drops it off to Peter Laviolette, who got a really good scoring chance right there, and it saw a little bit of a battle around the net after that one was held on. But you see Wheeling's going to get the first goal right here as Cameron passes up to Christopher Collin. Cameron takes it from there and is able to absolutely rip a shot. We talk about it all the time. Christopher Collin does the best thing you can. He takes a hit to move the puck. That leads to Cole Cameron having just a little bit of space, putting in just inside of that left bar to give Wheeling the 1-0 lead. Wheeling would eventually get a power play in this one after Darian Skio picks up an unsportsmanlike conduct call, as Wheeling was 0 for 1 on the power play. Adirondack 0 for 2 on the power play for the game. Shots on goal in that period, Wheeling with 13, Adirondack with 7. Overall total, Wheeling with 26, Adirondack with 18. We saw this period have a lot of emotion in it. Wheeling is able to try and move the puck around. We saw Aiden Sutter get a couple of shots off as he's on his bout for pro goal number 1. Jordan Martell makes the smart play here, doesn't have anything, and this is the best chance for Aiden Sutter as he was able to fire a good one on net. It's a frosty Friday. That man's definitely wearing his drink, and Wheeling continued to move the puck well. That was Matt Koopman was able to work it around. Another shot, the rebound was right there for Corsia, who's able to slap it on the net. Adirondack, though, did give a little bit of a push towards the back half of that period, able to hem Wheeling in a little bit, but Wheeling did a great job, especially Sergei Mudashov continuing to make saves. But Muse, the goaltender for the Thunder, made some big saves in that period as well. That was one of the biggest ones there on that save on the shot from Matthew Corsia. Saw a little bit of the rough stuff there from our second intermission interview. That one was from Cole Cameron, and that's eventually what led to Wheeling getting that power play. And this is one of the other big saves. Muse was able to see it the whole way, had to go across his body. Third period action will be coming your way next on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank.
Thanks for watching the National Equipment Intermission Report.
Nailers lead the Thunder 1-0 as we get ready for the third period. Let's look at some scores. Savannah and Jacksonville are 3-3 going into the third. Early third, Iowa leads Kalamazoo 4-2. It's Orlando up 2-0 on Greenville. They're in the third period. Also in the third, Reading leading Maine 3-1. Norfolk up 3-0 on Trois-Rivières. They are early in the third, adding even more importance to the Nailers, making sure they get this game to the finish line. Worcester leads Bloomington 2-1. That game early in the third period. South Carolina leads Florida 2-0 midway through the second. That's a series, Isaac.
That was one of the ones we looked at and around the ECHL as one of the big ones.
That's why you're good at your job. It's 2-1 Toledo over Cincinnati in the second. 6-1 Fort Wayne over Indy in period 2. Utah KC 1-1 in the second. Tulsa 2-0 over Wichita in the second. Idaho Rapid Allen Tahoe coming up. Nailers going from left to right in the second period. Thunder from right to left. Flip-flop those directions. If you're watching along on WTRF My Ohio Valley and FloHockey. 1-0 Wheeling in the third. Koopman nudges deep. Corsi on the attack. Blows up Skio against the back wall. During one of the intermission breaks, I asked Rob Lapolis, the voice of the Thunder, down the Herb Electric broadcast booth. I said, what was he doing with Skio going after Louis Rail? And even he didn't have a good explanation for me. O'Neal O'Neill, a left circle one-timer, and a fabulous save. Murashov going laterally across the crease and getting the left part of his body on it. That was a big stop against Adirondack's leading scorer. Nailers ice it 47 in.
Yeah, O'Neill, we've been able to see here, I think, in the early going of this series with these two teams. He has a little bit of skill. He's going to be able to move the puck. He's definitely going to be able to shoot it as well.
There can't be a team in this league that has a guy at the top of their scoring lead by more than O'Neill has. 18 points over his next closest teammate.
Incredible. He's definitely one of the better Thunder players.
He has 42 points on the year with 16 goals, 26 assists. Philman is second with 24 points on the year. A one-timer by Bisson from the right point blocked. Corsia looked like he felt that one. He's going to be a warrior and battle through it. A shot is blocked again, this time further back, and Corsia hobbles and said, "Somebody get out there for me." And newcomer James White says, "I gotcha." Timken near side trying to fight it through with Lindgren. Puck ends up getting sprayed down for an icing call, and it actually works well because Timken goes out there with his usual line mates of tonight with White and Leafers.
He saw Corsi go and work his way back to the ice. I wanted to make sure that he didn't lose a skate plate because it looked like he blocked that shot low, but I didn't see anyone pick anything up in the process. I think he just wore that one in a very uncomfortable area.
Does happen from time to time now. A puck hits off that trigger in the plastic part of the skate. Corsia got a quick chat from Nailers athletic trainer Lauren Riddle. White tries to go to goal from the right side towards the middle, but he's washed off the play. Smith comes back in the other direction. Right side riser up over top of the net. Vangelis back towards the pile. That goes wide from the right point. Gibson. We're going corner to corner here in downtown Wheeling. By the way, all-female athletic training battle here this weekend. Lauren Riddle for the Nailers, and Jasmine Honey is the athletic trainer for the Adirondack Thunder. Battle on the far side. Smirnov poked at by Drake. Pietola backs it up for Cameron, and they're going to call a hand pass, saying the Nailers gloved it before it went back into their own end, I guess.
Yeah, that whistle, it wasn't very loud and prominent either. You know, sometimes you might hear some screeches of some people in the stands. That's honestly what I thought it was.
The officials are going to talk about it, and the referee O'Rourke explains to the Adirondack bench that maybe it wasn't oopsies. Draw across the way from the Wheeling bench. 1:56 gone in the third. Nailers up 1-0. Division rivals with Adirondack for the first time since 2017-18. When the Nailers were part of the North, they're back in the North again. Martel, far side, has it bodied away. This is all-time game number 12 between these two clubs. Adirondack has won 6, Wheeling has won 5. Muse nearly spun himself silly in the trapezoid as he was trying to make a play. Philman, far side for Skio, right circle, wrist shot. Flew it up over top of the net. Smirnov grabs the rebound, shoved off by Pietola. Cameron, the Wheeling goal scorer, lets the puck truck around. Drake up for Pietola. Martel bloops at center ice. Philman takes over. Good reach by Cameron, but a second opportunity. O'Neill through the low slot. Nailers cover it up and get it to the wall. Martel backs it up. Cameron and boards the dink play. Drake can't quite move it. Nailers having trouble getting out of their own end. O'Neill driving, gives over, left side, goes off Bisson's foot, rests wide of the net. Now Pietola has a chance to skate it, gets it over that blue, gets it over the red. There we go, get rid of it, get off for a change.
Yeah, that was a big time in getting out of your zone there again. Adirondacks had full pressure at the beginning of this third period.
Short shifts don't get cute. Simple, simple, simple. Derek Army actually highlighted simple as the biggest Victory Toyota key to the game today on the Comfort Inn Coaches Conversation. Waugh rides low. Koopman out of the right side corner. Works his way up the wall. At the center point, Sutter delivers to Waugh. Tight left side shot. Stop made. Waugh gets his own rebound. Feeds it out. Center point, Sutter. Wrister into the pile. That one bopped out. Carried by O'Neill. Flutters it off the far side boards and down. Sutter banks ahead. Corsia couldn't quite lead Jankowski. Gibson for Nolan. Tried to juke his way towards the middle. Someone got flattened far side. It's Gervais. And just for safety's sake, they're going to go ahead and blow that play down with 3:56 gone in the third.
I wonder if he blew a tire. I don't think anyone hit him in the process there.
Trying to
As we're
see
gonna
the communication between the benches.
You get a look at the save there in front of the net. As I don't know if Murashov actually ever touched the puck. I think Young went to try to gather it back in, and he pulled it out of the crease.
Yeah, couldn't get a clean handle on it.
As we're going to, is this hit right here? Just a little bit of a tangle up. I don't think that was anything big. Sutter was the one that goes and get it. I mean, Gervais said about turtling earlier, and I mean, sometimes it comes back and bites you.
He definitely got hit, that's for sure. Good work by our camera crew being able to show us that.
You never know going into the wall like that if you try to stop and you might just blow a tire.
Yeah. And behind the play, you don't know either. Trying to watch the puck, obviously. Rail with a shot. And reaching up from his knees was Muse to catch that one. 4:04 gone in the third. 1-0 Wheeling in the lead. 1-0 Wilkes-Barre Scranton in the lead. Puustinen scored a minute into that game. Playing at Syracuse against former Naylor goaltender Brandon Halverson. Syracuse right on that playoff line in the north. Wilkes-Barre right now the 3 in the Atlantic.
I was looking before the game. Syracuse has got a couple of former Big Penguins on that team as their leading scorers.
Yeah. Tell us who.
That'd be Derek Pouliot and Connor Sheary.
Two players who I think are oppositely thought of by the fan base.
Yes.
Wheeler tries to thread the needle. Lindgren breaks it up. Collin battling far side. The Big Penguins got a big comeback win over the Flyers yesterday. Laviolette battles his way down the right side boards. Tomorrow afternoon, they play the other black and gold. The Bruins come in for a visit. Drake throws one towards the net, gloved off by Muse. Thunder shot put it ahead. Lindgren sets it down for Drake. Bull turning, looking in for Collin, went off his blade. Drake sets down and feeds over to the left side for Bull, trying to bully his way through Skio as the bodies collide far side corner in front of a nice packed house in the West Virginia Lottery Powerball suite. Far side corner, taken away. Thunder battle their way to center. Mueller, that would be out of play. It just drilled the curved glass on the Nailers bench, and no matter what part of that it hits, it's out of play.
I think Sergey might have a skate issue as he was signaling towards the bench. I think he said, I'm fine into the media timeout, but he was kind of signaling over towards the bench there. But back to that puck hitting that curved glass. I mean, granted, it's already a little bit of a delay when you have a piece of glass break. If you don't got many of the curved ones hanging around.
I was watching Adirondack's game in Kalamazoo on Wednesday, and they had one of the curved glasses pop out, and one of the fans decided he was going to be the handyman of the year candidate and try and help put it back into place immediately.
Did he fix it?
I don't
know.
know.
You got to give him a free game tickets.
They didn't really show it. They decided that watching other fans was going to be more entertaining, but A for effort, I suppose. Skio deposits it deep. Waugh runs it around far boards. White crashing in far side corner. That number 20 has been used frequently by different players this season. And James is the most recent. Timken trying to find it in his feet as a pyramid gets bashed over on the far side. Fans loving it here on this frosty Friday. We got 3 more of those to go in the regular season. White looking to lead ahead for Leafers. But first ahead of us tomorrow is a battle royale. Nailers and Thunder at 7:10 with that video game arcade in the main lobby. It's going to be a blast. Gervais tries to sling it middle. Kicked out by Jackson. Timken not out of the zone. A dipping shot. And gloving off the ice is Murashov. 6:10 gone in the third. 1-0 Nailers on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank. 6:10 gone, third period. 1-0 Nailers in the lead. On Cole Cameron's second period tally. Face-off coming up in the Wheeling defensive zone. As it goes to Drake in the far side corner. Plays it ahead. Tipped by Corsia, who opened this game with some fisticuffs. Got it through for Koopman. They go deep. Jankowski, near side corner, brushing it along. Koopman tries to find it in feed. It swivels middle. O'Neill harassed. Got it free to center. Gervais into O'Neill's footing. A Thunder come in offside. Gervais fakes like he was going to lift the leg and fire it, but he smartly does not.
He's got a little sass to him.
I'd like him, though. Like, I know, obviously, you see what he does here, but I don't mind that type of a guy on my team. I like 63, so, I mean.
Ugh.
I know.
Toe the line when you go for the big fake slap shot there.
Oh, yeah. 6:31 gone in the third period. 1-0 Nailers in the lead. I mean, just look at the broadcasting style. I have no problem making opposing fans skin crawl. Gervais coming in left side towards the circle. Working his way behind the net was Young. Goes out far side. O'Neill to the right point. Les returns it. O'Neill snapped over. Left circle. Bisson a drive. And trapping it on the logo is Murashov.
That was a great job there by Cole Cameron. Right at the last minute, as you'll probably be able to get a look at it if you wind it back a little bit, that he was able to clear out a lane very, very close to where the front of the net was. And that was able to get Murashov a beautiful look at the save as you get the camera right here from behind the net. He's able to hold back. I believe that is Gervais trying to crash the net. He was able to have Murashov be able to see that one clear as day.
I'm watching him yell from bench to bench right now.
Timkin's the one leaning over to talk back to him. We found out he's not afraid.
He took on Mike McKee, who's a giant for Tulsa. Martel, backhand off glass and down. You know, it'd be a heck of a funny battle to watch, thinking of teams in the North Division. Oh, there's a delayed penalty, and I guess it's on the Nailers based on the goaltender Muse going to the bench. Would be Gervais and Timofeyev with Norfolk.
Wouldn't be enough time to get enough words in.
No. So the Thunder wind things up behind their net. O'Rourke loses blood flow in his right arm as he continues to hold it in the air. Friedman, right side, or left side rather, from a right shot, ends up going along the boards, and eventually now it is touched up by Wheeling, and it's going to be a high stick on Jordan Martel.
So the Project Best penalty kill will get a little bit more of a workout here. This one now in the third period. Another big kill upcoming as you get creeping towards that halfway mark of the third period. And if Wheeling can do what they did in the first two and just not allow entries, I think they'll be fine. But you're starting to see Adirondack get a little bit of flow here in this third period. This is a dangerous penalty kill.
So it's 2 for high sticking on Martel at 7:28. Wheeling is 2 for 2 on the kill to this point, leading 1-0. Young, top of the left circle. Les over to Wheeler, top of the right circle. Les straight away to Wheeler, one-timer. David Drake sticks it away. Les down to Wheeler. Right wing boards to the circle. Up top. Les backpedals around the blue line. O'Neill to Les. Now Young to O'Neill. Tap, tap passing. Working on the left side of the surface. Young glides to the top of the left circle. O'Neill on the goal line. Twitch shot. And Murashov. Oh, man. O'Neill tried to get Murashov to open up. And Sergei stayed with it. Made a challenging save.
O'Neill with a little bit of AHL experience in there. I think he saw Murashov start to slide back in his crease to try to cut down a possible angle of going up top. But in the process, he fired a low shot. And Murashov was probably not expecting it. Luckily, his legs were just outside of that goal line to keep it out.
1:29 left to kill. We've played 7:59 in the third. It's 1-0 Nailers in the lead. Lunging Corsia! Yes! What an effort as he one-hand backhand whacks it out to center ice. By the way, belated happy birthday to him and Jordan Martel, who both added a year on to the ledgers on Monday. Coming in with a dump is Young. Near side boards. Corsia back for a one-timer, and Rail launches it away.
That's one. I'm happy the one-timer missed the net going the other direction. Being able to get that clear all the way down.
Francis sprints his way ahead. He can boogie. Getting in with a drop pass. Koopman. Yes, just enough out of Vandalist's reach. And setting back in his own slot is Conroy. Stick handling until teammates start to motion ahead. Loven near side. Francis fumbles. Jankowski tosses it away. Muse plays the carom off the end boards. Nailers killing for another 27. Here come the Thunder. Maybe not. Pietala says, wait a second. Gonna make him go back. 18 to kill. Here comes Francis, right side. Tries to speed it up for Philman. Banked off. Jankowski to Pietala. Gonzo. Muse sets it off there for Conroy. 5 seconds to go. Martel standing. He's anxious to rejoin things. Nailers are 3 for 3 on the penalty kill with one shot against. Martel out of the box. Left circle shot. Save made by Muse.
That was an interesting play there for Adirondack. They tried to carry the puck in, trying to get one last rush. They were offside, so they took it and played it back. It almost looked as a perfect pass for Martel coming out of the box to get that scoring chance.
Martel, just 2 even strength goals on the season out of his 10. Looking to get another one here. Coming out of the box, which would have been another massive momentum swinger in Wheeling's favor. But Muse, who had given up 6 goals on 17 shots combined in his last 2 starts, 29 out of 30. Showing why his numbers in the SPHL were so good this year. Oh, I almost just jinxed the ever-living you-know-what out of him. As Rail got the shot off, a stop made by Muse.
The net is off its bearing.
Okay. Meanwhile, 23 saves on the other end for the man they call Sergey. 10-11 left in our third period. 1-0. Wheeling in the lead. Wonder if we'll see Taylor Gauthier versus Tyler Brennan tomorrow.
Brennan's had a heavy workload.
Oh. I mean, because he had to come in twice for Muse, so he's ended up playing 9 straight and 11 of 12 before taking tonight off. He's probably delighted he gets to rest. Kicked around far side. Skating forward is Friedman, protecting against Jackson. Rail poked it free. Nailers 2-on-1. Collin in. Right side wrist shot. Pad save made by Muse. His legs got taken out by his own teammate. Now Lindgren faking his way around. Left circle shot. Save, rebound, score! Christopher Collin banging away at the rebound, and he gets it to go. Gives Wheeling a 2-0 lead with 9:41 to go in the third.
My favorite part about this play is Collin eats a cross check right in front of the net. No call. You know what? You make them pay a different way. As that puck comes right to him on the doorstep, he's able to slam it in. As we might be even see the cross check here. Takes the hit right in front of the net, stays down. Right there in front of the net, puck comes right to the tape and in.
From his knees, love that. Christopher Collin, give him a goal and an assist tonight. Jackson and Lindgren assist on Christopher's goal. Nailers wing it deep, but it's an icing call. 9:32 left to go in the third period. 2-0 Nailers in the lead.
It's really great to see Christopher Collins starting to get it going here. He's a guy, as we've seen, he has that skill. Maybe just trying to find his footing here back again in North America.
Who's going to score those goals? Obviously, you put a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Kyle Jackson, Jordan Martel, and Jankowski, Koopman, and Corsia. But Cole Cameron steps up, pots one tonight. Christopher Collins steps up, pots one tonight. That's great to see.
Your initials just have to be CC.
That's it. You look back to Saturday, the win over Tulsa. Eli Leifers, obviously. Mats Lindgren. Thunder try and go middle. It's back at the center point. Less to Vandalist. Left point wrister off of his own teammate Loven. White sets it up far side, throws it up, and they say off glass and out. O'Rourke making sure. 9:04 left in the third. It's 2-0 Wheeling on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank. Thank you, Phip. 9:04 left to go, third period. Nailers now have a 2-goal lead, 2-0. As Christopher Collin assisted on the first one and scored the second one.
You're going to change the assist on that second goal. It's going to come from Lindgren and Martell.
Okay. It's a lot easier to change a 73 from a 37 than it is to change a 51 into one of those numbers, but we'll make the scribbles we need. Rail whips up right side for Koopman. In front of the benches, Bisson dropping back for less. And over to Bisson on the left side. Tipped by O'Neill. Slides in on goal. Murashov sticks down and then thrusts ahead for Koopman. Far side, trying to chuck through O'Neill. Rail finds it in his feet. Right side, delivered in deep by Corsia. Less, first one back on it. Shakes it up the near side boards for Gervais. Coming ahead is O'Neill. He got knocked to the side by Koopman. And Sutter, with all sorts of movability, throws one in after he gains the center red. He had nobody on him for the first 100 feet of his trek. Smirnov in for Francis. Right side shot off the left side post. Looked like he took something off that shot as he thought he was going to drill it, and then the changeup.
It made me wonder if Murashov might have got a piece of the glove on it, too.
Could have. Francis trying to go through the slot. Nailers clog it well. Martell comes back in on the right side. Bashed into by Conroy. Jackson turning far side, giving down for Drake. Along the back wall, right corner, Martell stepping up, trying to return the favor on Conroy. Now Waugh with a dart from the right point. That's held on to by Muse as Pietila and Skio shove in front.
I think that was just those two guys were tied up there. I don't think there's anything close to the goaltender, Muse.
No. Pietila has 10 penalty minutes, by the way.
Yeah, that's... That was. I think you even saw the linesman told Skio, like, take a walk, calm down.
Yeah. 7:30 gone in the left in the third period. 2-0 Wheeling in the lead. Offensive zone faceoff. Another big shot output by the Nailers too. That's nice to see because it felt like we were getting outshot pretty regularly there for a few weeks. Nailers have put 36 up on the Thunder. Remember, Thunder did play on Wednesday and came here, I believe, yesterday from Kalamazoo. It's a long 14-day road trip for them. You want to talk about a yuck schedule. They had to go from Trois-Rivières, finishing up that, best of 7, whatever it was. As coming in is Smith on the left side. Winding behind the net, tries to stuff it out in front. Comes up to the left point for less. To Kalamazoo Wednesday, here Friday, Saturday, to Cincinnati Sunday, only to have to go back in the other direction through Wheeling to get to Reading on Wednesday before they're going to have to deal with us again coming off a Wednesday game Friday, Saturday, Sunday next weekend.
Yeah, no favors were done there. None.
I'll tell you what, teams are going to start learning to play more games in the first half because otherwise they're just going to kill their players. Puck shot in on offside against the Thunder with 6:20 left in the third period, 2-0 Nailers.
Because that's tough physically. That's got to be tough mentally, too.
Oh,
Knowing
yeah.
that you're like, man, we don't play a home game for that long. And, you know, the ECHL teams aren't exactly made of money. They're not staying on the road that whole time. They're going home and then going right back out.
Yeah, that's what. They had 3-3 against Three Rivers. They have 4-5 this week, 4-5 next week. Like, that's a lot of games, not a lot of time. That's 10 in, 17?
Yeah.
One of the rules I would do is you should never be able to play back-to-back 4-5s. That should be obliterated from existence. If I were ruler for a day, the guy who makes the rules is here tomorrow. Puck thrown out by Louis Rail. You know who else is here tomorrow? As Koopman backhands it on the net and Muse gets it with the glove.
Who's that?
The great Tim Mayer.
Okay.
Works in the league's officiating department. Friend of the show. 5:57 left in the third period. We're at the final media timeout here. Nailers with that 2-0 lead here on home ice. What are we going to look at here on the video? Oh, the hit of the game.
Leafers just crushed that guy.
Our hit of the game, both on video board and on television. Everybody gets to experience that. And the hit of the game is brought to you by Bill's Towing. Cole Cameron, Christopher Collin with the wheeling goals here tonight. Get your tickets for Battle Royale tomorrow, 7:10 against these Thunder. With a video game arcade in the main lobby. Show off those emotes. Wear your skin, I guess, or whatever you do.
I mean, technically you wear that every day, don't you?
I guess you do.
Maybe put something on top of that skin before you come here, too.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know how you'd say dress up like your character. It's not like when we had Star Wars and we had everybody just dressing up as all those fine characters. Or where you got the wizards and wands and you got your house robes.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
We're hearing a little bit of foreign territory here.
Yes. I am lost. The Storm took me out first, let me tell you. O'Neal, tight angle shot from the right side. Missed the target. Did it pick you off too, Andrew? Near side boards. They battle for it. It comes free. Young high in the zone. Vandalese stepping in. Right side shot. David Drake with the skate block. Koopman got run down, but Corsia helps it over the red and gets it deep. Bank play off the far wall. Drake settles down, gives off for Sutter. Right side of his own end. Andrew and I are battling tonight because the Celtics and the Cavaliers are going head-to-head.
I think I saw on the TV the Seas were up whenever we came back in that second intermission.
They got 25 of the first 28 points tonight. Leafers on the far side. Timken loads it in deep, far side corner. Oh, it's close. Near side, coming ahead is Mueller. As crashing him down was Leafers. Far side play, Less harassed by White. Gets it back. Mueller looking to enter in. Zips it off the tippity top of the side glass. Puck rimmed around near boards. Conroy pelted into by Timken. Comes free. White saw open space. And then Timken had to get clogged up by Smirnov. Waugh hustles back to help things. Sets things up in his own slot. And then gives over to Lindgren. Left side tip in by Pietola. 4:14 left in the third. Nailers up 2-0. Looking to finish this game smart and try and get win number 32. Smith, right side shot. Murashov, the save. Rebound drop free. And it got kicked wide off of Conroy, who jumped in from the blue line. Work to the right point. Besson on the back end. Leaping, glove down. by Jackson, trying to protect. He got throttled over by Friedman. Puck to the slot, but Pietila knew right where to be. He grabs possession, angles off the back glass. Lindgren trickles it ahead for Jackson. Comes through center circle. Rail on the right side. Back across. Martel plays the carom. Whips it along. End boards. Now to the near side corner. Wheeler looking up near side. Coming middle. Vandelis finding it in his feet. And then smothering it into the far side corner. Drake and Vandelis collide there. Koopman floats it out. Corsia gets out to center ice. 3:12 to go in the third period. Wheeling up 2-0. Wheeler winds things up on the left side, getting in his Loven, looking down the boards. Swish deep. Drake, far side. Corsia trying to protect against the wall. Jankowski goes to lend a helping hand. Now Cameron takes the game's opening goal scorer. Got it free, looking for Koopman. He collided along with Conroy, and that's an icing call with 2:48 left to go in the third period.
And I believe, yes, Muse is going to go to the bench unless they're calling a timeout here, but I don't know if they would do that because obviously Wheeling cannot change at the moment because of that last icing, but looks like Muse is going to start on the bench with there being 2:48 remaining in this one.
So the Thunder attacking this one 6-on-5. Draw to Murashov's left. He just wiped a little bit of snow off his stick blade, did Sergei. We've seen him try it a couple of times. Hasn't quite gotten the distance yet, at least in game action. He's tried it a lot in practice, but obviously the key here is making sure you win the hockey game. Young to Less. Near side circle, O'Neill trying to go deep. Young disrupted by Cameron, who floats it away. Tipped by Less, so no icing as he tried to hack it out of the air. Less winds things up. Comes up on the right side, drills over center. It goes whizzing around the end boards. Comes to Leafers, near side, ends up dropping back. Rail in his captain debut, looking far side. Couldn't connect with Colin. Less had to go back, no icing once again. Young, far side, Pietila watching intently. Young comes ahead, nearly fumbles it, carries over the line, gets in, smashes it along. Near side boards, Gervais wrists it along the end boards, kicked at, behind the net, Lindgren tries to find it. They continue to tussle forward up against the Zamboni tunnel boards. Comes up near wall, O'Neill, left side, towards the blue line, feeds over for a one-timer by Wheeler. That got disrupted on its path. Colin fights it free to Lindgren, left side, the slap shot, and that one's blocked on its way. As it rests near side corner, Conroy blocked it, O'Neill retrieves. O'Neill speeding up, right side, dumps it along. Murashov stops, looks, wrist, has a chance, it is just wide by inches to the right side. We almost saw it. Sergei Murashov just missed the first goalie goal in Wheeling history by about 5 inches.
Oh, and he had some pressure on him too. He was firing it, and he went for it as well. That was so close. As you saw, he looked straight to the heavens after he missed the net barely.
Holy
He got
cow.
checked in the process.
Look how close that shot went.
As Adirondack's going to take a timeout, we get an even better look at it. That was on goal, and it just took a slight right turn at the end.
That hit the red line of the crease. That's how close it was. Wow. Oh, now that's a shot.
Yeah. He gave it the effort there, you know, and we'll even say it might not have went in, but the best part about it is he got the puck out of the zone, and Adirondack takes a timeout, so nothing's hurt.
That may have been the best free flow hockey thing ever that could have happened.
Oh, yeah. Or I don't know if that might have been the best. That might have been the worst. They'd be like, people got to see it for free.
Oh, wow. Okay, so minute 16 to go. 2-0 Wheeling. Back. We had our little fun there. Let's make sure we get this thing to the finish line, and who knows, maybe Sergei will try again. Man, that was so close. All right, same spot for the draw. Murashov stick side, it's his left. goes behind the net. Cameron tries to lock up Gervais. Drake spills it around near boards. Jankowski tangles for it. Koopman's in the neighborhood as well. Cameron back to the wall. Koopman tries to jam a backhand through near side corner. Spinning is Francis. Got it to the half wall. O'Neal up to the left point. Young deking middle to the right circle. Now spins as Corsia is harassing. Left straight on wrist shot. Stick save Murashov. Corsia the self pass and whack. And he will end up icing this puck with 42.1 left to go in the third period.
That's definitely one I'm okay with there as well from Corsia. I mean, that one might not have been close to going to the net, but and you start to feel this pressure and you start to get towards the end of this game, you got to be fine of just firing and getting out of the zone.
Fans giving the Nana hey goodbye with this Nailers 2-goal lead with 42.1 to go. 2-0 is our score, and so close, almost 3.
Atlee Calvert first AHL goal.
Oh, fantastic. 2-0?
2-0.
Vandelis, then Conroy, play catch the point. Wrister by Conroy, dipped and they score. Looked like a tip in perhaps by Friedman. Adirondack on the board. It's now a 2-1 game with 34.3 to go in the third. Let's see, the leader of the celebration, it's actually going to be Lovin.
Getting a look at it. Continue to work it at the point. As you mentioned, Conroy with the long shot. Friedman gave the big celebration. That's 100% Friedman.
Okay.
After looking at that replay.
You want to keep the same order?
Sure, whatever you'd like to do.
Okay. I'm cool with it. Lindgren off the far boards, driven away. And no icing. Adirondack. Oh, yeah, no icing. Adirondack bench not happy. Muse in his net. He was ready to leave. Leifer stole it. Ends up whisking it on the net. Stick save made by Muse as he leaves off. Lovin has it wound up for Conroy. Feeding in. Far side Friedman. Can't get around Lindgren. It comes to the far side. Jackson has his eyes on the prize. He sends it. Bullseye! It beat the buzzer! That'll be 1959 point something. It definitely went in before 000. Spike and Buck are out celebrating. They're playing Country Roads, but they're still going to have to take one more face-off. Spike is now getting told that he will have to go. They were getting the
nets. They were trying to get them off quick.
Scott's going to go, my bad, we'll put that back on for you. It definitely beat the buzzer. I
thought so.
I've been accustomed to that where I can double vision it, look at net and clock. It's nice that we have the clocks in the corners here at West Banco Arena.
I don't know if they're even putting any time on the clock. I think they're just going to drop it, and that's going to be the game.
Point two.
There you go.
Ball game. 3-1 winner.
That's a big win to start off this another 3-3 weekend. Hey, there comes Buck back out on the ice.
A Spike too. All right, all of our childhood friends. And we'll continue to sing along with Country Roads. They still have Lovin in the score sheet as goal number 1 for the Thunder, with Conroy and Vandelis drawing the assists on that one to unfortunately spoil the shutout bid, but not the victory for the Nailers as they take the opener of this weekend by a 3-1 final score against Adirondack. They get a chance to now give the full-on celebration with the hometown crowd. Win number 32 on the year. Win number 142 for Derek Army in his quest to best Clark Donatelli, the team's all-time wins leader at 147. And the Nailers took care of business tonight. Points 65 and 66 on the year. Sergei Mudashov with 24 saves and almost his first career goal. As the announcement of the goal, Jackson, the empty netter from Leafers and Pietola. The Adirondack goal was Loven from Conroy and Van de Leest. And we'll get ready here for the announcement of the 3 stars of the game, as they will sign some things downstairs and get ready to deliver them to another thrilling crowd here at West Banco Arena. There's the sign wanting the birthday puck down there. See if she gets her wish. You got 3 players who are going to be headed out in a Wheeling uniform. First up is our number 3 star. He opened the scoring tonight. It's Cole Cameron. Cole Cameron, our number 3 star of the game. Number 2 star, goal and an assist. His goal becomes the game winner. It's Christopher Collin. And even though the Thunder snapped the shutout late, still thought he deserved number 1 tonight with his performance between the pipes. Sergei Mudashov is your number 1 star. And Sergei will clap and give the traditional wave that he always does here. We'll calculate the shutout streak that was going into this media timeout between Sergei's interview and the start of our Nailers Overtime Live post-game show. Let's see, we got at least 119.25 dating back to Saturday, and then let's go in to Friday. Let's see, the last Tulsa goal would have been scored with 13:08 left. So we'll do the quick math there. We'll just do it now. 132 minutes and 33 seconds was the length of the Sergei Mudashov shutout streak, which is far and away the longest shutout streak, not only by the team, but by a Nailers goaltender here this season. If Sergei's ready, we'll go ahead and send it down to ice level, where he is joining Isaac.
Down here at ice level for the number 1 star of tonight's game, Nailers goaltender Sergei Mudashov. And Sergei, a fantastic game, another one by you tonight. How are you seeing the puck right now? It seems like you're seeing it quite well.
I have to see it quite well. It's my job. So, yeah, just I think it's the job which I do behind the scene. And, yeah, just keep working, keep doing my things, and, yeah, see the puck well. I have to, and I think I can do it even better.
We saw sometime tonight, we saw Adirondack get a couple of power plays, but only the 1 shot on goal. What can you say about their penalty killers in front of you?
Oh, well, guys did a really great job. They helped me. They cleaned everything. They blocked shots. And I think it's also, I should give a credit to our coach, Mitch, who does a really great press scout. And we know everything before the game. So we have a plan and we follow it. So I think, yeah, I should appreciate such great work from my teammates.
You just missed going for the net there on the goalie goal. How often do you practice that in practice to get ready for that opportunity when it comes?
Not too often, honestly, because not always have the time. But, you know, guys like to say during practices they almost score me. And so I should be honest to myself. I also almost score. But as I always say to them, almost doesn't count. So I still will practice, and one day we'll score.
Great crowd tonight here at West Banco Arena. What can you say about the fans here tonight?
Oh, I really love to play our home games. I always hear them. I feel their support is so precious, actually. Yes, Wheeling is kind of small city and not too much people around, but I'm actually admiring how we gather together here, have our own vibe, and I think it's our sixth player on the ice. So thank you so much to our fans.
Sergey, congrats on another great game. Congrats on another one. Keep it up the rest of the weekend.
Thank you so much.
All right, Isaac Basinger joining Sergey Mudashov, our game's #1 star. Again, the shutout streak goes 132 minutes and 33 seconds, 24 out of 25 here tonight, helping the Nailers to a 3-1 triumph. Nailers Overtime live post-game show is right around the corner. We'll have a recap of tonight's game with the stats and scoring summary. Remind you of those 3 stars, out-of-town scores, and a look ahead to more Nailers and Thunder tomorrow on the Nailers Broadcast Network presented by Main Street Bank.